got that. Yeah, I did. And I was like, Mary, you know, I was spot every week. I got that.
You gotta get your subscribers up a little more, though.
No, I'm trying to get up to the bro. I'm teaching tomorrow, bro. Like I'm not like I'm going to a whole nother level content wise. Like I'm doing a whole.
But you're a rock star, though. I mean, you should have. You should have them.
Edward, talking to greatness. Learn. Don't.
Greatness. I understand.
You average about 120 views on each video that you have.
Yeah, but
you have 514 videos.
He's the chief rabbi of Africa.
Yeah, your YouTube has been one of the best setups since 2013. You fucking had your funny show.
Crystal, I put it in the chat.
I got it, thank you.
Salam alaikum, Amir, and everybody, by the way. Forgot to say that.
What's up with you? What happened to the Pledge of Allegiance? Where'd he go? The guy Amos.
I think Amos has a room up. I was.
Chucky guy got pissed off again. Chucky guy.
Did he?
No, I think apparently, he started to question me if he's a Muslim because he follows this and that. I'm like, no, from Muslim paradigm, it's not. And then I asked him, why do you ask me Islamic questions when you can't answer any questions? We were in another room yesterday. Could not answer any questions related to his religion. You know, and then he would tell me, then why do you come in and ask me questions?
He could not, or he would not?
He would not.
Oh, would not.
He knows about the religion, but he would not. Teddy, you know that guy, the brother John?
Yeah, but he said both. I asked him when he was looking into religion, what was it that appealed to him about Judaism and what did he not like about Islam? And he said I'm not allowed to comment on such things.
I remember that. I think I was in the room when he said that.
No, not about that, Teddy. It's about the.
I'm saying,
Brother Johnny,
you're not allowed to say.
Johnny asked you about other. Brother Johnny asked him about other stuff. He did not. He chose not to answer the question. He changed the topic directly into cooking. What do you make from it?
Is he not allowed, or is he choosing not to?
No, he's choosing not to. He's choosing not to.
He said to me he's not allowed to comment on such things.
He's lying. But today he literally said about the Islam part. If you're not allowed to comment on Judaism, why
he's not allowed? Why he's not allowed?
It's a bullshit. That's a bullshit. That's cap.
Maybe
why are you being so anti-Semitic, bro?
We have an unknown guy in the audience. This idiot likes to record conversations. He's been recording some of the, Jeff's room as well. I heard Jeff was pissed off at this idiot. He's calling out his own Jewish brother, right? This guy, John Elder, whatever the fuck his name is, that's sitting in the audience with the anonymous account. He should be mass reported from all sides, Muslim and Jewish sides. Because, Jeff's room is like full rated R. You know what I'm saying? They talk about nothing but sex. So, that's where we're at.
Yo, Habibi, I just saw what you just put up.
He's so stupid, man. He is so stupid. I cannot.
Yo, Black Rabbi, why are you calling yourself an ex-Muslim? Why, bro? Stop it.
Bro, stop.
You couldn't even recite the Fatiha when we asked you last time. How do you lead people in prayer if you can't recite the Fatiha, the most basic thing? You said you led people in prayer in Mecca. You have to know the Fatiha.
Yes.
So, but you couldn't recite it.
Bro, just ask him about the first pillar of Islam. You make it
Ask
easier.
him any of the pillars of Islam.
What's the first?
Come on now, the first pillar. Come on.
How'd you guys find?
What's the Shahada, bro? You forgot that. Like, let's see.
When you post on the internet like Hitler, stays on the internet, goody.
Shut up, dude. You're not discovering.
Bro, I want to ask you something, Black Rabbi. How many
What's up with you, Adam? Welcome.
Adam, he already failed that last time. We got him on the Ragas. That was very easy.
How many rakats in wudu?
Rakats in Juju, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. How many cats on the door, bro?
That doesn't make no sense.
MashaAllah.
No, because we got him last time. That he remembers that, Adam. You gotta be
I
slicker now.
remember that. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta be slick.
So what about that?
Okay.
In Fajr, there's 2 rakats. Is that better?
Bro, we did this with you already. You're just remembering what we got you.
What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro? We grew up, bro. You know what's great? You know what's great about this? I'm doing an interview, like when everything with the ward comes out. I'm doing this big interview here.
It's just for the clown, right? Like a clown.
No, and I'm gonna have my parents come on the
How
interview.
much money are you gonna be making with the interview? How much money? How much money they offering you?
No, my parents are gonna come on the interview, and they're
I
gonna
understand. How much money? How much money?
But no, they're gonna talk about being Muslim and having.
How much money? I need to know how much money so I can make some money on
a
it.
son and a daughter who both converted to Judaism.
So they're pimping you out on national
They
television.
failed
Is
his
that what they're doing?
parents. They failed.
So they're using your sister as well, Black Panther?
They're pimping you out, right?
So
Black
he's
Rabbi?
been saying that same rhetoric for like 10 years now? A global hijab. Shut the fuck up. Why were you skinnier?
Ariel, you shouldn't even be talking about
He's
money.
drinking his
The way
wine.
You did that. The way you did that sister dirty that clipped your account. You still, you know, Edward. He goes, "I'll pay you $4,000, right? I'll cash out you. Can you pay the sister or the person that I did dirty? I'm still waiting. There's no money in my cash out account. Where's my $4,000 at, you idiots?"
But let me ask you this: why do you guys have a problem with me finding?
This guy stole money from a lady, from a girl on this app, this Ariel character, and sitting in the audience.
How much?
The amount that originally I think was said was 2,000. He said I'll double it. I want you to pay her. And then he's like, I'm gonna give you the money. If you pay her, I said, where's the money? I can send it. I'm still waiting on my cash app. Where's the money?
I'm not involved.
It doesn't matter. That's your boyfriend. That's your boyfriend. No, that's your fun buddy, not boyfriend.
Don't bring your.
Yeah, he has.
Okay.
He has described you in great detail, more than what we want to know.
He watched you urinate, man. What do you want? He watched you urinate on the side of the road.
Are you talking about Ariel?
He did. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. He said it was
Rabbi,
amazing. Me and there was a bunch of people in the room.
He ripped you apart about the white chick that you guys were fighting over.
Oh, was it? They were fighting over a girl?
Yeah.
Why you guys just?
I mean, I don't know if you want to kick Ariella from the room.
They're fighting for.
I think I have an idea, right? Let's have some fun. Let's piss him off where he doesn't have a voice, right? So Ariel did that woman dirty, right? He pissed her off, and she's got him suspended on the first account. Second account did the same shit, right? He keeps on stealing the money, right? Keeps on stealing the money from women. Does not want to pay them back, and this is his third account. Like, what an idiot this guy is.
I think
Black
Rabbi.
psychopath.
I mean, maybe Ariel and Black Rabbi should make up right now, in the room right
You
here.
mean makeup and kiss?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go that far.
Kiss on the cheeks or like kiss somewhere else?
They're actually competing with each other, and that's right.
So then should I bring him up, Black Rabbi, kiss on the cheeks?
Wait, why are we competing?
Because you're both brainwashed, and you're both being used for entertainment purposes. So one of you has to.
No, but
And Ariel says he's more successful than you.
I feel like
They
Black
can't
Rabbi
really
is like.
Maybe he is.
they can't really speak on each other like that because I think there's like a case. They have like a legal case against each other.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, why can't I just be myself? Why can't I be?
You consider yourself more superior than Ariel?
No, why would I?
With Black Rabbi, in the other room, he was defending you. As I was questioning your, evidence, right? I asked you for the evidence. He kept on interrupting. He was kept on defending you. What's up with that? He's really in love with you.
Amir, I just.
And you're like a little bit. You find the restraining order on.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you guys are using these white supremacist tactics where you take vulnerable black people.
I'm not white, so I cannot use white.
Who's vulnerable?
And you want them to fight against each other.
Who's vulnerable? Black Rabbi.
No, you guys already did that, Black Rabbi. We don't have to do
I
it.
know, because we were incited. We were incited by you guys.
You
You were
did that
inside
over a
each
chick,
other?
you
I didn't know
fucking
that.
idiot.
Wow.
No, you guys.
You did it over again.
Hey, yo, come on, guy.
It was the
No, Black Rabbi, what, are you vulnerable? Who's vulnerable?
African Americans.
Oh, but I thought you said you're more aligned with American dominance, so you're on the paradigm.
You know,
You're more of a citizen than I am, and so how are you vulnerable?
No, wait.
Black Rabbi, I do want to tell you one thing. I'll let you respond to him. The funny part is that you guys fought over a girl, and then she dumped both your bum asses. That's the funnier part about this whole situation.
Black Rabbi married her before
She dumped both of them.
the Black Rabbi married her before she dumped him.
Guys, you know how dumb guys look when they fight over a girl? Black Rabbi, come on.
No, wait, this is the same thinking that.
You know, bros before hoes, remember the saying?
Wait, this is the same thing that tells yourself that Iran.
The funny thing is, that you thought you won, bro. You thought you won because you married. You thought you won because you married her, and then she dumped you.
Anyways, the point is like this.
And then you had plans to go to Nigeria and get married there. And
What
then
happened
you did
with
the
that?
biggest mistake. They attacked Iran. And then Iran canceled his entire plan about going to Nigeria.
Well, I mean, he's been talking about it for months, so
I know.
it just so happened to coincide with
the thing about it, I'm with Nigeria, I'm connected to Nigeria, and I will get there soon, but I'm not going to marry in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to marry in Israel, right? So it's just saying I have to put the priority of getting married first before, I do my world tour, you know what I'm saying?
world tour.
Your world tour. World breeze.
I bet it's considered himself a famous person who flies economy.
I know that I'm a small guy right now, but I'm going to be the biggest guy. I'm just starting off small right now. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. You're a small one and he's a big.
You know what I'm saying? I was small. In comparison to like Tony Robbins.
You know,
The
the
dominant and who's the submissive? Who's the
Oh,
dominant
you
and
want to
who's
be
the
Tony
submissive?
Robbins?
Who's the
I
dominant and who's the
want
submissive?
that market share. I want to be that self-help.
Ariel's dominant or you're dominant?
Stop it, trying to make black.
You know, Black Rabbi, Ariel has more views on Instagram and YouTube than you do. Not for the good things, but he still has more views. Like, he's the dumbest person I've ever seen.
I'm not competing with him.
That's okay, you can that better.
Black Rabbi, the problem here is Tony Robbins does know what he's talking about. Like he does impart information that is useful.
I'm way smarter than Tony Robbins.
Then how come he's a multimillionaire and you're not? How come people want to hear him and see him and learn from him and not you?
Everybody who's been exposed to me wants to learn.
I don't know. I'm exposed to you right now, and I'm not wanting to learn to you.
I've seen footage of you sat around talking. Sure.
Yeah, we're no future.
I'm wicked, so that's why I'm not learning from you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Why would you not be? You're right in front of me.
I don't understand. So if I don't learn from you, I don't find you to be successful or someone that has useful information to impart to me. That means the problem is with me, not with you, automatically.
Okay, so I'm gonna really correct you right now. I'm gonna and by doing so, I'm gonna change your life. Okay. So the thing is like this. A guy like I'm using a guy like Elon Musk, a guy like Kanye West, these guys, right? Now the thing is that at a certain level in society, in the West, right, that there's a certain status where it's like, you're not necessarily, you don't grow up in a way that it's like you grow up and you want to go to college and you get a skill set, and then you go to the workforce, right? It's like it's a different status in society where there's this idea of like entrepreneurship, of creativity, of implementation, these types of things, right? And you see it throughout, especially in tech, from computers and all this. You see like different, like just random kids that were able to create innovations. So the point is saying like as American kids, like our whole thing is like how big can we create? How much of an impact can we make? Right? That's the thing. We want to do bigger than our parents, and so that world is enticing because it's like it's a world. The world of celebrity, all these things. It's like it's a very very.
All right, Black Rabbi, I've heard you, and you said you're going to change my life. My life has not changed. I actually have no idea what you're talking about, and I feel like I've gotten dumber.
Right, but the point is.
Edward, the ending of his speech is the part that changes your life.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be patient. Go ahead.
So the point is the same. The point is the same. Is that that's how like some of us grew up, right? And so the thing is saying that ultimately every single person, regardless of your religion, when we want to say make a lot of money or we want to make an impact, when we really break down what's going to be achieved from it, we ultimately want a connection with the creator, right? And so when you look at like Elon Musk or Kanye, I'm just using them as two examples. There's like another 100,000 examples we could use. But when you look at those guys, it's like, yeah, they made a lot of money and they achieved, like a lot of notoriety. But at the end of the day, they still haven't made it to where I made it to, right? Which is the level of completion, the level of complete connection, right? Now, in our society, hear me out. In our society, the way it's designed, we only glorify the level of luxury, right? But there's levels above luxury, right? There's power, and then there's also spiritual connection to God, right? The highest level spiritual connection to God. So
you're putting spiritual level of God above power and luxury. So poor people cannot have a spiritual connection to God. Thank you, Black Rabbi. I have learned so much from you.
Of course they can. In fact, most people who...
You literally just said they can't.
And no, I didn't say that. I said that I said to you that the reality is that the highest status of a human being is connection to God. Beneath that is a person who has power, like a king or CEO or president. Beneath that is a person who made money and has luxury. Beneath that is the mundane person who doesn't want more than just living for the next day.
Well, you're talking to the wrong crowd because Muslims don't believe in what you're saying right now.
I know, but the wisdom.
And it doesn't make sense. And there's no.
I know.
And you haven't been through power or luxury or spiritual awakening to even make these connections.
The point is just saying I've lived in luxury my whole life, but the point, including now, but the point I'm saying to you is saying
you can't even afford a shirt
Kanye
properly. What are you talking?
You're right. But the point is saying Kanye, Elon Musk.
So stop on Kanye, man. What is this?
They will never know what it is to eat food on Shabbat.
How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know?
How do you know?
Because I'm telling you that they won't ever be able to do it, right?
You're telling me. How do you know?
How do you know that like you're better than them in the eyes of God?
Did you change your diapers?
How do you know that?
No. I'm saying to you that you guys have all been indoctrinated to believe a small, limited level of what you would call success. And I'm telling you, I'm the real version of success. That's not success. What Elon Musk has in his hundreds of billions of dollars, that's not success. You know what I'm saying? I am success. Someone who found themselves, their true identity, connected to nature, connected to their fellow man, connected to God.
You were connected to Ariel last time I heard.
So much is fucking crazy.
This guy, he's one of these guys on YouTube. You have to listen to them because they're so crazy. You're like, okay, what's he gonna say next?
Yeah, whatever. You could downplay it all you want, Edward, but the bottom line is
You're not making any sense.
I have the truth.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Black Rabbi, the truth, man, the God, I hope you don't be offended by what I say, like respectfully. But you and their yalla are the clowns, You know what a clown is? Seriously.
How are we playing?
This is jokes, bro. Like, even when you talk, everybody laughs. You know what I mean?
Bro, you don't realize. You're seeing a guy like me.
No. You think
you're seeing a guy like Ariel. You know, I don't get along with Ariel, right? Like, I'm not speaking.
But
I'm saying to you.
He followed you. He defended you in the previous room.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Just let me make this point. The bottom line is, you guys are both witnessing two African Americans actively involved in foreign
No,
policy.
he loves you. That's.
You're not listening. You're seeing two African Americans actively involved in foreign policy. You think it stops with us?
That you're the leader. You said you're the leader of the Black African American.
No, I'm leader. I'm a leader.
And listen, let me finish you, fucking thought. And then you said that only. And then you said 3 black people that you're with.
You know how many rooms on here he went into, like black rooms, and they went sideways when they heard him talk? They called him, what they called you? Coon. They called you coon, but they used 3 words.
Okay, but Edward, the difference between me and you.
But these are your people, though.
Wait, let me explain something to you. The difference between me and you.
You're so lost. You think you're a good talker.
Yeah.
But we're the listeners.
It's not about the talker.
We're the listeners.
It's not about
you're
the talker. I'm the doer.
I'm
the doer.
Well, go do.
You know, you do Ariel all the time. You do Ariel.
It's only going to continue to grow. Right?
How many times did you do Ariel?
And I'm going to bring truth to help.
Did you do Ariel, or Ariel did you?
Remove the Hamas.
It went both ways with
You're going to. Wait. He's saying he's going to remove Hamas now. You're removing Hamas?
He said that?
Yeah, he just said that.
Yeah.
You're going to remove Hamas. How? Are you going to talk to them and tell them the truth?
Bitch, you couldn't move yourself from your bed into a bunker when Iran was like looking you get.
He has a double wide. He might have been able to fit. But, wait. Get back to Hamas, though. Hamas is, what words of wisdom are you going to impart to them for them to take you as their leader?
No, it's not about that at all. It's just saying that.
Assalamu alaikum Abu Ubaidah, my brother.
No, the thing is like this. The thing is saying that there was a residue that existed in the Middle East that was connected to the Ottoman Empire, right? And so...
Bro, they're gonna shoot you, bro. They're just gonna fucking shoot you.
Wait.
No, they'll put him to work building tunnels. Here's a shovel. We're not even gonna give you
the funny thing is, he won't even be able to pretend to be a Muslim because he can't even recite Surah Fatiha or the Shahad.
And Israel won't even consider him a hostage. They'll be like, no, you guys can keep him.
Seriously. You and the yellow, like, you guys like to make fools out of yourselves, like, actually. And you enjoy it. Like, I can't even believe it.
They don't understand that
we're American though, like, so we're like.
What's that mean?
We represent power.
Yeah, but who? You represent nothing, bro. You represent yourself.
We represent power.
Of course, you don't represent Americans. You represent yourself.
We do. We represent Americans 100%.
No, you don't.
On multiple levels.
You would like to represent Americans, but unfortunately you're never going to have that chance.
Who do you think the future of America is? I mean, come on, wake up.
Not you, motherfucker.
No, not you.
Wait.
I have
the other guys that are in Israel.
I know, we don't know who is it, but we know for sure that it's not you.
I'm here. And that's why...
Whoa. Okay, don't use that tone of voice, please.
Business, because I'm here.
So why don't you go back to America and start working on yourself there?
What do you mean? We're going to do it here.
Like, how the fuck are you going to become the president that's spending 8, 9, 10, 11 years instead of a street? How does that work?
I think it's only fitting for an American president.
How?
To spend at least a decade of his life in Israel.
So you want to become the president of the United States, but you're spending most of your life in another country?
Not most of my life, the last 2 years.
The last how many years?
Decade, 10 years.
I heard 2 years.
Nah.
I just wanted to make sure that.
We're, I
So
mean,
is Ariella gonna be your assistant
no. But the point is just saying that
when you become president?
the point no. But the point is just saying that we're going to move forward. The relationship, we're going to make it constitutional. The relationship between Israel and America.
You're using words, but they don't mean anything. There's no concepts behind your words. There's no objective behind what you're saying. Anything at all.
But the thing that
Black Rabbit, what do you think about this new New Yorker mayor that said he would arrest Netanyahu if he ever goes to New York?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, you like it? You support it?
Yeah, I think number one, he's going to fail. But two, the most important thing is saying that it shows how much of a great democracy America is, right? And as we're bombing that part of the world, hey, somebody from the nation.
Is it not surprising to you that a Muslim man in New York is the one who won?
No. I mean, you think about it. You have to think about it in this frame. Like when Black Lives Matters happened, it was like I think there was like 4 congressional representatives that were elected in that momentum. The same thing you see here by the whole backlash to Trump and the stopping of protests in Colombia. So this is just a backlash, but it's nice.
So it's not shocking to you that a Muslim man inside of New York won?
No.
Between all the Jews that live there?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying because the point is saying we have to completely subdue intellectually the Middle East. So when they see that affects
you have to subdue intellectually the Middle East.
Yeah. So
what does this mean?
So what it means is like when they see an image of a Muslim guy winning in New York, it makes them believe in America more. It makes them want to be a part of it.
Wait, you said subdue the intellect of the Middle East?
Yeah.
Subdue the intellect.
I think after the last thing that happened here in the Middle East, nothing is actually gonna paint a good image of you guys in this region at least.
The new mayor of New York is also Shia. He's actually
Great. You let him play. Let all the cameras in America be there when he's elected, and he can put his prayer out, and he can do a slot. He can do a slot. No, it sells America. It sells America.
He will change the minds of the young people in America. Fucking idiot.
We're worried about him. Yeah, he's such an intellectual.
Of course, because, buddy, what's going to happen? Eventually these young people are going to have to,
He's a simpleton. But the point is just saying that you understand.
more successful politically than you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly. He is more successful than you are, Black Rabbi.
And you know what? And the way that you guys
do you deny this?
The way that you've been trained to understand what's success.
How do you feel about an immigrant becoming mayor and you fucking ran away to Israel?
Nah.
You ran away.
Let me ask you this.
You ran away, he stayed there, and he accomplished something.
I want you to take a step back.
He accomplished something practicing his own religion. He didn't have to change his religion to fucking say, I'm going to do this, do that, do that.
I reconnected my religion on myself.
Reconnect my ass.
Hey, I love you guys, but the reality is saying that we're conquering you. And you guys should start, you guys have to accept that. You have to accept.
Who's we conquering? Like, what are you conquering? I don't know.
We're reshaping the Middle East. We're reshaping the Middle East.
No, Iran just did that. Iran just reshaped Israel.
It seems to be the other way around, isn't it? If the mayor of New York City is going to be a Muslim man from Africa, I think it's the other way around.
What do you think a mayor can do? What world do you guys live in?
Mayor of New York, what do you think?
Yeah, mayor of New York, and you can't be mayor of a small town anywhere in the U.S.
No.
New York.
Okay, wow, he's a mayor of New York. What is he going to do? Defund the police?
But what have you done? You ran for Congress and didn't make it. he's running and he's made it through
You
the
guys should
Democratic
read
nominations.
you guys should read the New York Times analysis on the whole thing.
Yeah, it did.
Electing the new mayor.
Well, Jim did the reason New York Times wrong. Anyways, but the point is just saying that.
What did it
Yeah, Black Robot, you didn't make it. Your campaign made $252,500.
Okay, but I'm saying.
You took the $2,500 to go to Israel, you fucking idiot. That's what you did.
Do you think
10,000 votes. That's what you got. 10,000 votes.
Do you think I was supposed to?
That's nothing.
And yet this guy's a simpleton and you're the smart one.
He's a simpleton.
He's accomplished more than you have.
No, yeah, you guys, because you have a limited perspective of what accomplished.
Okay, Black Robot, politically speaking, how are you more successful than?
It's not politically. It's a.
No, I'm asking you because we're talking about politics. How are you more successful than him?
It's not about politics. It's about life.
So spiritually, you're saying spiritually you're more successful?
What I'm saying is that everything that you want to do, like everything you want to accomplish in life, the root of that accomplishment isn't connected up. Right?
So who's more successful, you or him?
Me.
How?
Politically speaking.
Because
How are you gonna do that?
Because I'm able to connect my actions to God's will. He's not.
Okay, how do you know his actions?
You spent most of your life hopping from one religion to another. What the fuck are you talking about?
How do you know? How do you know his relationship with God?
I'm just saying he's a simpleton.
Yeah, you're saying.
You're judging
How do you know?
his faith. You don't know his spirituality. You don't know how his connection with God.
And you said actions, right? So his actions have proven that he's not a simpleton. You're the one who brought up actions as a metric.
I'm saying this is all to make Qatar happy. It's just all politics.
But he's accomplished.
Hold on. So it is politics then, yeah, Black Robot. So he is more successful than you.
No,
Look at his bio. Look what did he say in his bio. Look at it, dude.
Yeah, I think his platform is like this socialist platform we saw people try to.
The right place at the right time. He's saying that politics is like first comes first served.
Black Robot, why are you lying on your bio? It says new to Clubhouse. Testing it out. Why are you lying?
You left? Oh my god.
I didn't realize you said that's a lie.
I think we got some.
Black Rabbi, you're not very spiritually connected if you're lying.
No.
God doesn't like lies.
Yo guys, I'm listening guys. Assalamu alaikum. Unfortunately, someone called me.
Alaikum assalam.
I had an event going on, so I had to be off this app. Amir, everyone, assalamu alaikum guys. I hope you're blessed. If you're a Zionist, I hope you get fucked in the ass. These are from jets. I just love this group so much, bro. Like, I love everyone in this group that's pro-Paddy. If you're pro-Paddy, I love you.
No, shut up.
Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Go suck them.
You come in here like some weird foreigner, like coming into like an American event, like talking all loud. Everybody, shut up.
Do me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me, kike me, don't you black and white me. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Fix the country your parents fought for.
Well, first of all, my parents.
You haven't accomplished anything in the West. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I did, bitch. I did. More than you, bro.
You just made money.
Well, I what is it?
You just help fuel our economy. That's it.
Yeah, maybe I help fuel your system.
Our Black Rabbi, I'm not here.
How are you, bro? How are you? Okay, I missed you, man.
I'm doing well. How are you, Anas?
God is great, well, alhamdulillah. I just love trolling these Zios, you know.
This guy's annoying, bro.
I'm annoying? Maybe I was annoying when I was fucking your sister in the pussy.
At least Anas makes sense. I mean, and Anas's sentences have an objective to them.
Amir, my brother, I love you so much. How are you? I missed you, bro. I missed you so much. How are you?
It shows how primitive.
Yeah, today is 25th.
This guy will curse.
You are, Black Rabbi.
Anas, you wouldn't want to do that, bro.
And then the next moment, he's
Anas, you wouldn't want to do that. You saw his sister, bro. You take that statement back.
Today is June 25th, which means 16 years when Michael Jackson died, and he was killed by Rabbi Shmuley, who is a Zionist Jew.
What did you do to the baby in Zamfara's brother?
I have.
How did you help? How did you help and support them? Support their family, support their people.
I can guarantee you.
Since you're spiritually connected.
Yeah, since you want to talk about Muslims, tell us, you as a Jew, what did you do?
Yo. Everybody do me, kick me, kike me, don't you black and white me. All I want to say is that they don't really
Calm down, bro. We're not doing this. My brother told you.
I missed you. I missed you. How are you?
Okay, yeah, but you gotta calm down.
He's an annoying foreigner.
No, he's not. He's not.
He is. He's annoying foreigner.
He's just passionate. He's just passionate.
He's annoying. There's one of the guys.
Just like you're passionate for Israel, even though you don't have a citizen.
Put it this way, you guys are, the Muslims today are literally marching in parades with homosexuals and transgender.
Your Tel Aviv is like 1/3 of the population is homosexual. What are you on about?
Yeah, but you know.
Your Jewish state is supposed to be holy land. What the fuck are you on about? Stop it, that's down.
But you know what? The only way that they're able to march is by massive security, right? Because Jews have tried to kill. I'm just saying, you guys are marching. You guys march with homosexuals.
So you're saying they're extremists, they're terrorists.
You guys sit around and you guys cuss, you guys talk disgusting, and the next minute, oh my.
Literally, you attacked a whole bunch of girls in my room, and you call yourself a rabbi. Shame on you. Shame on you.
This is why the Jews.
You literally attacked a whole bunch of women in my room.
We're closer to God. We're closer to God than you guys are.
So what does
you guys have lost your way. You lost your way. You lost your way. You lost your way.
What does your God tell you to do? You lost your way to the gym, yeah, black rabbi. What does your God tell you to do, Mister? You're more connected to God. What does your God tell you to do?
To unify the Middle East and get out all the cancers.
About homosexuals. Since you're the one who brought it up.
They need to heal.
Your Torah says to stone them. I don't want you to.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you remember that
You don't tell us
what does it say?
Yes, I do. I have the right to tell you. I do.
You should learn from a Jew.
It's in your book. It's in your book, you fucking idiot. It's in your book. Your book says that. Your God says that.
You guys sit there.
Your book says that.
And if you guys learn,
no, you change everything in your book.
If you guys learn everything, you guys will be at a moral standing that God will be standing with.
So what does the Torah say about it? What does the Torah say about it?
You guys are marching with LGBTQ.
So what does the Torah say about it?
Do you think God is with you?
Tell us. Don't run away. Tell us what does the Torah say?
You guys, you know God's not with you.
What does the Torah say? Just tell us, what does the Torah say?
You guys have morally and ethically sold each other.
So, Jahash, what does the Torah say about homosexuals?
I mean, what do you mean?
Can you tell us?
It says it's forbidden.
So what does the Torah
say? You're a rabbi. You meant to know answers to these questions.
You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it.
Okay, what verse is that?
I don't know, it's in Leviticus.
So if you shouldn't do it, then why the hell do you have a lot of homosexuals running around inside Israel?
Because they were around non-Jews.
Okay. So you have non-Jews that created the state.
No. I'm saying non-Jews were the ones who taught Jews that.
I think Theodore Herzl, wasn't he like homosexual?
Black Rabbi, I wouldn't be surprised if you were homosexual, you fucking scumbag son of a bitch. I actually wouldn't be surprised.
Why not? Why would you be surprised?
I wouldn't. I said I wouldn't be surprised.
I seen
you can change you can change everything that the Torah says, you know? You can do that in your religion.
The point is the same. I'm just
I think that's the only key, man. Because take you seriously, so you must be careful.
I'm saying this as a person who made Hajj. All I'm saying is you guys.
No, I'm asking you for the verse. You can guide me to the verse. Guide me to the verse. I want to learn. I want to learn about the Torah.
Amir, look how you guys talk. You guys are not righteous.
Guide me to the verse. Guide me to the verse.
Did you ever see yourself talk how you disrespect women? Did you ever see yourself?
Light it, like Rabbi, light that joint.
Anyways, I think I do wanted to ask Hector. I think he was in the healthy debates yesterday. Hector, by the way, I know you were talking to some Zionists yesterday. Rohan brought up this whole point about some bullshit, right? That, if we can do it sort of like diplomatically or, ceasefire and, end it. You brought up something about the regime change. You see, that's the problem I have as well. Why would America wants to do a regime change in a country that America doesn't have power over? Like, what do you care what the regime they have in there? It's up to the people. And back in, I brought up this point earlier, back in 70s or something, there was diplomatically, there was a prime minister was selected, right, diplomatically, but guess what? It was toppled by the CIA because it did not align with the Western values or the British values. Can you believe it? I'll give you his name.
That's fake news.
I got the data of this.
What are you trying to prove?
Let me read it out to you guys because Hector's here. Hector was having a very good. I was in there for a little bit in the healthy debates. This is what happened. I'll give you. So in 1953, welcome to the stage, Hector. 1953, the CIA coup against Mossadegh. Mohammad Mossadegh, right? He was Iran's democratically elected prime minister in 1951. Action nationalized the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, challenging British and Western interests. Outcome in 1953, the U.S. via CIA Operation Ajax and UK orchestrated a coup that overthrew Mossadegh. The result, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who had fled, was reinstated with full autocratic power. He was widely seen as a Western-backed puppet. You see what I'm saying, Hector? Are you there, brother?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, listen, thanks for bringing me up. I didn't realize that room was going to give me so much pushback. But, guys, this stuff isn't just happening today. And I kind of feel like if you're not well read on history, you're going to think, Iran is a big bad. Well, that's not the case here. We definitely, we overthrew their government, right? And now the chickens are coming home to roost. And for them to say we need to get rid of these people like dogs, it just kind of tells you where the mindset is at. And we have to get back to a diplomatic solution. So, I was surprised. I was really surprised.
No, I just don't get it. Look, this so-called war, they lost it, right? So that guy Rohan from Australia, you wouldn't believe it. His daughter is actually pro-Pali. She raised funds and she does a lot of stuff. She's a Palestinian activist, right? But him, I don't know if he's changing his narrative. JB is slowly starting to change, but he got butthurt by me a couple of days ago in this room. He's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, this, and then he leaves, and then he opens his own room. My whole problem is this so-called war that was started by the Zionist entity, which is Israel. They pretty much started the war. Then Netanyahu cried out because, they were they didn't know Iran would target them in such a bad manner because they have ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, right? And Trump comes out. Trump is like, okay, we're going to put on a show. Like 2 days or 3 days prior to it, I'm sure you've seen the intelligence report. They moved a whole bunch of uranium and everything, out of their facility into an unknown location.
They moved records.
No, not records. According to the intelligence, they did move. There was a lot of activity with trucks, Black Rabbi.
I saw it. We saw it.
Yeah. And the satellite. So what I'm saying is the satellite images that came out, they were from the outside. All right, so they could not see what happened inside those.
You're saying inside? Okay, fine.
Yeah. So they moved it right to a different side of the mountain or whatever they did, and IAEA apparently leaked out the names of the Iranian nuclear scientists. That's how they were able. Hang on, Black Rabbi, you gotta stop interrupting, man. So IAEA apparently released the Iranian nuclear scientists' names to the Zionist entity in America. That's how they were able to assassinate like 14 or 16 of them. You see what I'm saying? So this is why Iranian government came out and they're like, we're not gonna fuck with the IAEA anymore. You see what I'm saying? They suspended the whole contract. And at the same time, I forgot to tell you, you didn't raise a question about why is Israel not allowing the inspections. the nuclear. I forgot to ask you to. Why didn't you ask them that, Hector? And then you would have triggered the shit out of them.
But Amir, common sense. I'm just saying, just as a common sense point, based off what you just said, a common sense point would say, like, just say hypothetically, like if Iran really had nuclear capabilities still, they would be telling everybody that they don't have nuclear capabilities. They're like, wow, you know, they came, they destroyed everything, blah, 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 blah. But they're doing the opposite, right? Which all that does is it just invigorates in giving Israel or whoever else justification to come back, right? So why would you do that? Why would you not? You take away the power from America in Israel or any type of military intervention by just saying, hey, simply like, hey, yeah, you guys destroyed everything. And you just keep enriching under the ground. But the fact that they're saying that they didn't do that is almost a proof that that is exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? That they did remove that, and they're trying to save face by saying they still have it.
No, they didn't do it. There's a lot of activities. There's a lot of reports coming out. There's about 2 or 3 different sources reported on this. So Iranian government, look, to make it make sense, Black Rabbi. Let's say you're leader of this fake state called Israel, right? And turned out you have this nation called Iran has a problem with your nuclear program, right? The day one, right, and they're negotiating, and you know what the intention of Iran is about to, shoot a rocket into your nuclear if you don't abide by the rules and regulation. So what you would do in your right mind, anybody in their right fucking mind, they would move everything out of the location, so nobody knows where that nuclear stuff is. You know what I'm saying? Anything to do with uranium, nuclear equipment, weaponry, all that. They would move it to an unknown location until further notice. Any country, and the Iranians, they're pretty smart. They're not dumbasses like you are. You see what I'm saying? I know you, sometimes you come off as a dumbass.
Why you call names? Like, how do you
No, I didn't call you name. I said you come off as a dumbass. I didn't call you a dumbass. I said you come off as a dumbass.
No, you said it. You're not brilliant.
No, I'm saying you're, I don't know what to tell you, man. You just, some of the things you say, it's like some genocidal shit, man. But Hector, what's your take on this? Why is Israel not allowing the IAEA to come in, inspect it? Are you there, brother? Yeah, they're just, what do you expect, man? These people, a Zionist entity is just full of freaking surprises. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, now I can hear you. Hello? Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, listen, I think it's total BS, right? Because, see, what we got to get clear on is we're going to
Your brother in the Matrix.
To the oh man. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you. Yep.
Can you hear me?
What were you saying?
Okay. Yeah, so, I'm saying if we're going to hold, Iran to international law, we got to be willing to hold Israel and everyone else to international law and treaties. And right now, Israel's not letting in the inspectors. They won't even admit they have nuclear weapons. They're non-parties to the NPT. So at this point, I think in my mind, they've lost credibility here. And until they can come back to the table with some sort of true diplomatic solution, I'm not buying what they're selling. And that's just the reality. They started this, they violated international law, and now we're supposed to jump into a conflict with them? No. So I think it's a big mistake on the United States' part not to be more aggressive and forceful in using the diplomacy to get things done for a true peaceable 2-state solution. And stop this conflict going on in Iran. This is ridiculous.
100%. I mean, we gotta have some sort of peace in that in the region. And Netanyahu always wants war, always wants more killing, thirsty for blood. Just gotta end all of the shit show that he's doing. Give them the state, or give them something. Permanent ceasefire. And even in the previous week, you wouldn't believe it. Netanyahu if you raise this question with the people that are running the healthy debates, that why did Netanyahu give weapons to ISIS, it's gonna piss them off. And guess what? It's coming from the Israeli sources. One of the Knesset members, released it out to the media that Netanyahu gave weapons to ISIS in Gaza, and what they're doing is they're stealing the aid trucks and they're selling it in a black market for triple the price. And then Netanyahu and his criminal Zionist entity comes out and says, "Oh, it was Hamas that stole it." You know what I'm saying? And then they keep on killing more and more people. This is the big issue inside Gaza.
It's really sad, and I think a lot of
You're in the matrix.
Why is it Americans have such bad internet? What's going on, dude?
Are you in New York, brother? New York internet is such a... Yeah, look, but anyways, what's up with you, G? And Point, if you want to come on up, you're welcome to come on up as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
So, G, in the Zionist spaces, they were, really, they're saying this type of bullshit, If you go into the healthy debate club or any of the Zionist spaces, you'll hear this type of bullshit.
Yeah, I was hoping before I talk, Black Rabbi doesn't leave the room, but as usual, he knows the situation is extremely bad over there, and he got nothing really to say except to hear the defeat and all those, like you said, the judgment day right there. It's pretty good title for them to see what does it feel like bombing the other people, innocent people. Wasn't it enough? You bombed their building, their house. Now you're bombing their tents, killing. I mean, they thought they can easily get away with it all this. Murdering, getting protected by another genocidal of the big Satan, which is America, always vetoed at the UN and backed them up, and the rest of the Zion, the NATO members, they always can send them more weapons, technology, defense system to back them to continue with this murder, despite all these national countries in that UN. 5 veto at the UN happened by the snake of America, the devil of America did it. The rest of the countries were saying yes for the ceasefire, the immediate ceasefires, and this devil country says no. I think it was a good punishment that God set up automatically, even though they start this, but they didn't know what's about to happen to them. Yes, was it judgment? I think clear as day. They came for the regime change, government change. And the second, uprising people, and they had everything lined up for the last 10 years, planning this. All these Zions, including Israel, America, NATO, all they planned out perfectly, and they let Israel to lead this plan. Unfortunately, they didn't know the people of Iran, when it comes to the wartime, they will stand up with the government. They get united. These people come from the long route. They are well educated. They know if they don't, it's gonna be another Libya, another Afghanistan, another Syria, another Iraq. They got together and they stand up and they defeat these Zios. And like everybody see that, I remember Brian Hook, the guy was in charge of Iran in the White House on the previous Trump administration, was calling Iranian missiles are a joke. It's a Photoshop. How long that guy did last in the White House? Wasn't he got his ass kicked out of the Al-Assad in the Iraq-based American? Their ass got lit up. And who was the next one making fun of the Iran missile and capability? Was it Bibi? They planned everything. They thought they can go through and succeed. But things turn around, their ass is getting lit up. For those are angry that Iran lit their asses and Trump had no choice to change the plan and say no, it's a so bad regime change and all that, it's such a bad thing. I'm so sorry because the plan didn't go accordingly. I'm so sorry. When you gamble, you win, you lose. This time, Bibi and the rest of the Zion entity of the American, the rest of the NATO members that they all thought were going to win this battle, they're all fucking their ass got lit up. If only you guys know the rest of the story is too early for me to come to tell what really happened. What you guys see it over there is just what you guys see on the news and those pictures. But what really went down, just give it some time. I might start little by little open to this room maybe, just not yet. Things was much bigger than everything. And why did Bibi and the Trump start begging Qatari to have Iran to stop this? Don't take my word for it. Steve Bannon. Just listen what Steve Bannon announced yesterday. He said their ass, Israelis' ass got so kicked. They were so bad shape. No defense. They're out of ammunition. Defense. And everything was so bad for them. They had to back from the Trump, and Trump had to back the Qatari to back Iran. And Iran shopped it a huge list of demand. Just wait those demand list of the demand condition comes out, and you all find out what really Iran is Zios. Most everything they had, money makers, building, technology, military asset, you name it, the list can go up to the 50, 100 targets of each one of them worth of billions, if it's not $100 billion. Boom! 30, 40, 50, put Israel behind technology. That's what happened. Judgment Day is a correct way to say it.
Let's hear from pro-America side, right? We have Amos here, he's waiting for America. Let's see if he answered the question. Amos, do you think America lost this so-called...
No, I do not.
How do you say that? Can you please tell us? How do you... why did they not lose? Can you tell us? How did they win?
We didn't even, it wasn't even a war. So how can we lose something that's not even a war?
So what was their objective by throwing a bomb at what they did?
They had an objective, they executed their objective.
Yeah, but the objective was to bomb the nuclear facility, but they did not bomb the nuclear facility.
They did.
But there's multiple reports that it did, that shows that they moved it prior to the America doing the attack.
Oh, okay. Well, I have reports that say the other one.
Yeah, but I have to go based on data. Do you have data that proves otherwise?
Yeah, I have reports that say otherwise now.
Which reports? Can you provide us a report?
No.
Okay, I have the report that shows something else.
Of course. Anything that makes America look bad, you're gonna have and support it. I already know Trump.
It's nothing to do with America. It has to do with the CNN and New York Times. They actually released it out to the media.
That sounds right.
And yep. And then there was what you call it? There was 3 or 4 days prior to that, there was a report that there was a lot of activity with the trucks. So they moved it. They took it out of the location that they bombed.
Chucky, you always say that you're like a real American and you support put America first, but I also am a real American and I'm from Americans. And real Americans really don't care about Israel. And lately I've been noticing that you're like buttering up to all the Zionists. So I'm just curious, are you a sellout?
I'm not a sellout because a Zionist comes on stage and we happen to be talking on the topic and they say something I like. All of a sudden I'm a sellout? That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Lately I've been questioning your allegiance.
Yeah, my allegiance is to America and it's solely to America.
Just like the people in Congress that are Zionists and put Israel first, they say the same thing, but yeah, that's actually not true.
Yeah, that got nothing to do with me, man. You know, my allegiance is to the American flag, you know. I'm a proud nationalist. Any more questions, Crystal?
Yeah, that was all.
All right, thank you for asking, ma'am. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Are you shopping at a grocery store, Crystal? Are you shopping at a grocery store? You know, you get to hear that after they bag your shit, bag the stuff out. They're like, well, rest of the whole day.
You know, Crystal.
I'm not or anything, but like, when people say that they're like for America and all that stuff, it's confusing nowadays because so many people are actually like for Israel, right? But like real, like Americans, like the real people, not the government, they don't really care about Israel, right? They really put America first. And I don't know, just making sure that you were.
That's crazy, Crystal, that you came with that, man.
That what?
It's crazy that you came to that conclusion, man. I come into a room, you know, that is clearly anti-American. I come in here, I wave my flag.
This is not anti-American.
I say the Pledge of Allegiance, you know.
Yeah, but
you got a lot of people in here. But hear me out though. You got a lot of people in here that live in America, dick riding for Iran. You know, and I'm just here to call out the bullshit, man.
Well, there's two things. Here's two things, Chucky. One, you're only obligated to say the Pledge of Allegiance once in your life to become a citizen. So that's the only obligation. You always stressing that people need to say it on a daily basis does not say they are patriotic or not. That's not a factor. All you need to do is, as an obligation to be an American, is say it once when you're getting your citizenship. That's one. And then second, part of America is free speech. So if somebody is agreeing with things that Iran is doing, that's not dick riding. That's freedom of speech. And that's the American way.
Hey, so I just want to respond back to you. Number one, I never said it was an obligation to say it every day. That's something that I choose to do.
But you always asking and questioning and interrogating people if they said it every day. You always ask that question.
Oh, yeah, it's just something.
And then when Amir isn't saying it, you call them, you said he's not a patriot.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's obligated. It's not you're not obligated to say it every day, you know. And number
because
two,
Amir is not.
Can I finish? Can I finish responding back? You know, but you made two things. You said two things, and I would like to respond back to your two statements, and then we could have the dialogue. And number two, I never said that you don't have the freedom of speech as an American citizen. You said people say a lot of shit on the stage I don't like, and I'm entitled to how I feel too. I feel like there's a lot of people on here that got Iran's stick in their mouth, and I'm here to call the bullshit out. That's it.
Yeah, but you said that it makes people anti-American. You said people are anti-American because they're saying these things, and then also you always bother Amir about not saying that because he doesn't say the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever, that makes him against America or non-American or not a patriot. You're saying that every time you come on stage.
Yeah, I know, but what I have, my issue with the mirror, that's between the mirror, not the.
You saying it publicly in a room.
I don't mind. You can release it out to the public.
You're not DMing him. You're not DMing him to shit. You're saying it on.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh yeah, not due to the person in the comments, man. A lot of people got Israel's dick down their throat too, you know. But both of them for real, it's America.
There's the American government. They're dick riding for Israel. I think we should be dick riding for America. The same people that they're dick riding for Israel. We should not criticize. Anyways, that's what it is. You know, somebody that gets inspired by a pedophile like Amos, and then calls himself Amos, and does things for Amos' uncle. Very disturbing. Anyways, what's up, Bayfan and Isaiah?
What's up? I just came in the room. I just wanted to see what y'all was talking about.
We're talking about Israel. You support Israel?
Yeah, I seen that. I see what's going on over there. It's unfortunate. I see Trump is trying to make a treaty and just tell them to just calm down right now. That's all.
Do you think America lost and Israel lost this nuclear war with Iran?
Nah, I think that I don't want to say too much on the zap, but I think that Trump, he got some ties in with the other side, so his agenda just ain't falling through, because it's like everybody wants to be in power at the same time, but it's just not working on his timing right now. Israel's just like, we want to do it like this, and he's just like, just chill. Yeah, it's just too much going on, man. It's very political, like, very, very political.
So what do we do about the intelligence report that came out and that said that they didn't really they missed the target of nuclear? They were supposed to hit that target. There was a lot of activities. Chris.
Well, there's corruption everywhere. So I just feel like a bad apple just made a bad decision, and they just trying to start.
Are you
something
saying
right now.
that they did lose this nuclear thing because Israel started it, and then Israel was begging for a ceasefire? America came out. America's like, okay, I'm gonna put on a show. They put on a show, literally booty clap with a Zionist entity, and threw a bunker buster bomb into Iran's nuclear facility. And turned out we get the intelligence report that says they missed it. They did not target.
Yeah, and man, no one stated this yet. Maybe they have for the past couple of days, since I've been back. But I think, were you guys aware, after America did their attack on Iran, what was Iran's next step? What did they do? They went and met with Russia. And then they attacked the naval base. Then they attacked the military bases, and then the ceasefire happened. So I think Russia's got something to do with this, because why would Iran immediately go and have a meeting with Russia after America's attacked?
Well, here's the thing. I think that's why Trump had to tell Israel chill out because Trump tied in with the Russians now. And I ain't gonna
it makes sense if you think about it. Like if you think about it from a threat point of view, what's more likely to, like most likely to shut Trump up? A potential war with Russia or just Iran responding?
I can't say. The reason why I can't say Russia is because he's tied in with them folks. He's the only one that can say Russia chill out because he's tied in.
No, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like if you got attacked and you have someone, let's say a big brother that's gonna back you up, the first thing you're gonna do is go and speak to them.
Yeah, but like I say, Trump is tied in with the Russians.
I don't think so, bro.
I believe so because
they were sending weapons to Ukraine, but it doesn't.
You know they make money off these wars, though. That's why I say you get very political, man. Because think about it, when we had the last president, right? Trump wasn't done with his little agenda inside. So he get all this money, do what he do. He tied in with these other countries like that, and then they put this president in place, get us distracted with McCain, whatever his name is, and then put Trump back in to finish his job. And right now is just not the time for that WW3 to go off right now because he tied in with them folks. I feel like Israel just don't want to listen to nobody because
in relation to Russia, even Hamas wanted Russia involved, and China involved in relation to the ceasefire. If you remember, about 8-9 months ago, right? But because nobody trusts America anymore, right?
What's gonna make America rethink his allegiance with Israel? Yeah, I mean, a war with Russia and Iran. That's gonna make America think twice, right?
Yep. Because Russia over there is attacking Ukraine like crazy, and then you had Iran was attacking Israel like crazy. Alaikum assalam. How you doing today?
All I'm gonna say is that every time I hear the words, number one, I think that Iran probably has nuclear capabilities, but I don't think they have nuclear weapons. You know who has nuclear weapons? North Korea. We never bombed them. Russia got no nuclear weapons. We never bombed them.
Wait, Russia's got nuclear weapons. What are you talking about?
We never bombed them, though, right? That's what I'm trying to say. A country with nuclear weapons, we've never bombed them. I'm just saying. And I think that they're just getting into a war with Iran because, you know why. Whatever Israel says, we have to do because our government is paid off and sold to Israel via APEC. And that's just the reality. Every time that motherfucking Netanyahu comes into fucking office, comes into the fucking Congress or the Senate hearings or whatever, and he says another country, I'm like, I can't with this fucking guy, bro. I can't. I don't know about y'all, but there's a lot of dots that are connected here.
Yeah, I remember.
What's gonna happen next though? Because Iran is determined.
It honestly depends.
To annihilate Israel from.
It would have to be. No, there would have to be international jihad. That would be the real thing that would only be done like that.
Who's going to do that? There needs to be a.
It can either be done through that, or it would have
there needs to be a unanimous opinion of
correct.
major scholars.
Correct.
And that's not going to happen. No one's going to step up and see that and organise and say
I agree with you. Our ummah is very da'if. It's okay. I understand. I agree with you. But I feel like when you hear Israeli, officials and stuff, their main objective is to make sure they don't get divestments. So I feel like the less we give them, less money we give them, the weaker they are. And their economy has already been hit because of all this. So imagine us pulling out all that money. America gave them $13 billion during 2024 alone in aid. Imagine without that $13 billion and all the weapons we give them, they would not stand a chance. I'm just saying.
No, I agree, but like I said, I think Iran is going to continue the war with Israel because they want to continue the war with Israel.
They got disrespected so many times and nobody backed them up. How many times?
So where's America going to stand? Where's America going to stand with this? And that's what I'm going to say. America, would they be changing their mind with the allegiance to Israel?
Yeah, it has
because
to.
Iran has
they just didn't expect Gen Z to read. You know what I'm saying? They didn't expect, the biggest thing that the Zionist machine here in America didn't expect was for Gen Z to be informed. You know? They were watching everything else, you know, the educated black man, you know, these educated Arabs, these Arabs with power. They were watching everything else, but they never expected Gen Z to be informed and actually into politics. And that's what's gonna kill them. Now, billions of dollars they spent creating this propaganda machine for decades is slowly melting.
Do you know what? Do you know what I want to see? Do you know what I want to see, right? Listen, do you know what I want to see? Everyone in America has been like, yeah, regime change in Iran, change the regime, get rid of the IRGC. But now I want America to be like, okay, let's change the government in Israel because it's not benefiting us anymore. Let's get rid of Netanyahu. Let's stop the occupation of Gaza.
I agree with you.
I think that's more likely to happen.
I mean, I hope so, but that would take the ego of Donald Trump to be burnt to a different level. You know what I mean?
I mean, he said fuck. He said fuck Netanyahu. They didn't fuck Israel.
He said they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what he said today.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm pretty sure he's. I mean, look at his history as a businessman. The apprentice, right? Hire and fire, and I think Netanyahu's done. So I think America could just get rid of him.
Hey Teddy. So my question is, right? Do you think that, quote unquote, there is gonna be a time when all these motherfuckers say, "Fuck it, we all just gonna go to war"? Do you think there's a
when it comes to their seat?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if me as a Muslim, if it was allowed, I would be there now.
You think he's gonna be happy now? About maybe this year, end of this year?
And I think a big population of the Muslim world would as well, all adult age fighting males. It becomes, once there's like a unanimous agreement on the major organized scholars, then it becomes mandatory. I'm pretty sure they'd have to.
Yeah, we'd all have to. All Muslims would have to be called men first. But if they needed women, I'll go. I've been doing shootings for a minute, bro.
Obviously, there's exemptions. Do you know what I'm saying? But
obviously. But to die shahid is fire. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this sounds like...
Are y'all in America?
I'm from Brooklyn, born and bred. How you doing?
Can't look at
that. That made me laugh, yo. Shit.
Sorry.
But did you guys see it?
Are you serious, Misha? Can you show that link? Sorry, wait, fine. So sorry.
God.
No, Naima.
Crystal apparently got pissed off. Who else? The pro-America dude.
You guys are too harsh on him, man. Come on.
I wasn't trying to attack him, but he's been, lately, I don't know, all up in there,
Yeah, he's all up in. He's got Donald Trump's dick in his mouth. Yeah.
Let me ask you something, right? For Gen Z, right? Do you think now is a great time to join the military? They're that fucking desperate.
Nah, bro. They still live with their moms, bro. They Gucci right now.
No, but I'm saying, like, if anyone's desperate in Gen Z, you think this is a great time to join the military?
Maybe if you get them amped up enough, but then again, it goes back to do you remember the 2003, post 9/11? That propaganda was elite. That was a different type of propaganda machine. Americans was riled the fuck up. They saw recruitment go up 80% or some shit like that. You know, it was the idea that, but now we're too informed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Do you remember that time? Do you remember that propaganda was shoved down your throat? Do you remember that? 9/11, never forget. Everywhere. American flags with that sign on there. You don't remember this?
Yeah, I remember that.
And Islamophobia was at an all-time high. Trust me.
I think they're gonna have a really hard time finding people to join the army.
For sure. I'd rather serve crack than this country, period. That's what I'm saying.
America is probably gonna it's just all gonna be an inside job at this point. Just
like 9/11, bro. Everything's an inside job with these motherfuckers. You don't think Timothy McVeigh, the Unabomber, you don't think he's an asset? I beg of you. I beg of everybody. Holla at me, please.
I don't want to say too much on this.
We all grown though. I know. Let me shut the fuck up.
That anonymous group, they had that countdown for that attack in the United States. Is it ended yet? The countdown.
Anonymous still says everything. Yo, they said they're gonna drop some shit at the end of this month regarding the
They said that there's a countdown to an attack on domestic soil.
Correct. There's sleeper cells all over the place. He said, but it's not gonna be. But they said, do not believe the media. That's what they kept saying.
Yeah, when's that countdown?
Just be careful, bro. I recommend solar powered things in your house. I already Amazon mad shit. Okay.
In the UK, everything to do with America, I don't really give a fuck. I don't really like about this.
Yo, what are you talking about? Didn't your prime minister just say prepare for war? Hello, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, I'll put that.
I know he's taking the mic, innit?
Yes, guys.
Yeah, bro. Fuck it. You get me, like. I thought about it, and I'm like, somebody's waffling. Bear was.
What? That was so spot on.
She's got so much energy. It's not this fucking great.
Thank you. I lived in London for 3 years. I did my master's over there. So it was cool. Yeah.
They
What's your ethnicity?
They definitely looking for you, Neymar.
Egyptian and Moroccan.
They looking for you.
I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you something.
That explains the energy.
Again, I'm Egyptian and Moroccan. I was born in New York. My name has been on the list. You know the Associated Press. The Associated Press leaked the CIA stuff. Did you guys see that? Do you guys remember this controversy? No. Okay. Okay.
Yo, Nick,
my family was part of it.
I trust to be on Clubhouse and talk this shit. Like,
because I'm innocent.
Still proven guilty, right?
I'm innocent. They gonna run my fingerprints, Nathan. They gonna find Nathan on me. I don't do nothing.
Yeah, I didn't do anything either. Yeah, I'm innocent also.
No, I am, bro. What are you talking about? I took a law clerk for fucking immigration. Like, what are they gonna do for me? Out of here.
What's your thoughts on the ICE situation?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I worked in immigration for 15 years. Okay? 15 years I've been doing immigration. Most of my life, okay? And I'm telling you, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I have clients in ICE custody who shouldn't even be there. I got into an argument. I don't know, you guys don't join my rooms, but in another room I was talking about how I got into a fight with ICE counsel like 2 days ago. They had my girl do nothing. Nathan, okay? She just sat in a car she sat in a car with her cousin who didn't have any papers, okay? So the cops pulled them over, took her cousin and her, both of them. She had everything solid documentation, real. They ran that shit, everything. And then when we asked ICE counsel and everything, they told us she's just collateral.
Yeah, I've been trying to bring you up. I keep hitting the button.
Yeah. That's our tax dollars. That's our tax money being used for somebody to tell me she was collateral. She has never committed a crime in her life. She was brought here by her family at 9 years old. She don't know Mexico. She don't speak Spanish.
Fuck ICE.
She doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. She's like, so my crime is that I came here as a kid? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Like, what the fuck is that? Craziness, y'all. Craziness.
Make America great, Naima. Only white people can walk without paper.
I ain't never voted for that fucking clown. Don't look like you.
This is it. Only white people can walk without paper anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Carry their paper.
They're deporting all these Latinos, but bringing in white South Africans. Make
America. Make America great again. That's exactly what they want.
And one of the whites already killed his wife is in jail already.
Put it on.
You didn't even finish the probation period. You're not a job, you didn't even finish 90 days.
So are you an atheist?
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
No, I'm a Christian.
But Jose, that finishes your yard work in less than 2 hours. He's your problem, right? Okay, got it.
Does he have a
You
name?
got it. You right.
Does it have a name?
You got it, Donald.
Yeah, I come in my father's name.
Okay, so it's a male.
Now in US you can go vote without ID, but you cannot walk outside without ID.
Is that right? It's a dude?
Make it make sense.
Hallelujah.
Said hallelujah.
You got a whole city of Mexicans.
Like an unknown gender.
Oh,
Yeah, it's sad though. It's fucking sad.
Like, and you know, so funny. I've been seeing these fucking TikToks of these fucking farmers who voted for Trump and are mad because they're getting their workers are getting deported. It's like, you fucking voted for this. Fuck up.
Look, I don't know why you keep.
You literally voted for it. You dumbass.
That means Miami's done being built. Because that's all I see down there.
Yo, go look up. Go look up. Like, the media's not gonna show you this. You have to literally go on Telegram. I go on Telegram to find my friends. And you just see crazy videos, bro, of like people like ranches, people like calling for closure on their businesses. Fucking, they're getting their shits foreclosed on, like, because they have no workers.
Did you not have a father growing up?
No, I do. I have there, and it's a male. It's a man. My father is my dad, and
I have my cousin on there, so she just DMs me the shits. But hold on, I got you.
Did your father love you?
yeah,
Let's do it right now.
All right, so you know what a father is.
yeah. So when I ask
And
you
also
if
Reddit?
you're God,
Oh, man, y'all
what do you
Reddit?
say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
This
three
is the kind
majors.
of bullshit you guys do. This is what
So,
makes us laugh.
I'm obsessed.
It's just fucking bullshit. I don't think you believe this at all.
Nah, it's no. Hey, look, I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
Holy Spirit.
I got a phone call the other day. Somebody wanted me to see where their folks was locked up at, but I know ICE is so different than law enforcement. 12 don't even know what the fuck is going on out here.
So,
Are you law enforcement? Is that you?
Yeah, but I don't be involved with that type of stuff.
I got you. But is it true that people were deputized? Is that true? No.
I'm still with DO. I stayed in jail. I deal with law enforcement all day, but I don't. I'm with SO, but the thing is, I don't put myself out there like that. All my friends are deputies. I don't be out there trying to get involved like that.
I completely understand.
I want to though, and they're wasting my time right now. So I got all my officer friends trying to see what's going on because some of these counties out here acting like they fully staffed now, but I know they desperate for people. But everybody just fucked up out here. Like literally, we don't have nobody in law enforcement to bike units, to courthouses, to the jails. The inmates are damn near overrunning the jails now. We're fucking short staffed as shit.
It's a shit show.
Now we're like, go home with your own fucking radios and shit, and your own everything, and if y'all need ambulance or help, just hit us up on the radio. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And we're the biggest sheriff department out here. We're just shitty out here, for real.
Do you not like white boys?
I literally, I was in my car yesterday, and I'm calling my cap, and I'm just like, cap, you know, if you're trying to write me up this and that, and they like, she like, don't fucking worry about it. The fucking sheriff's going through a fucking lot right now. They lease your fucking words. You take care of yourself and just do it.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's like fucked up out here.
Yes.
It's bad though. It's really bad. Like they're making everybody just take everyone. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. I already had a whole lot of folks that resigned and everything. I even hit a
Damn.
resigned since January talking about I'm at home living my best life. I was like, fuck. I'm like, damn, this shit is like, yeah. This shit is horrible, bro.
Yo, I just pray for everybody. Everybody's shit is going the fuck up. Like, everybody's shit is turning the fuck up right now. By the way, I don't know who asked me for videos, but I'm sorry, I mixed them up. It was on TikTok. Sorry. The videos for that one is on TikTok. I sent one in the chat.
You see this guy in my PTR? That's the next mayor of New York City.
That's Bay right there.
That's the next mayor of New York City.
Was he the one that when they were doing the whatever it was, he said that everybody was saying that how their first place that they're gonna go is to Israel, and he says, I'm gonna stay right here in New York.
Exactly. Like, why is the mayor of New York going to Israel? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
What is that? Stay in New York. Sit your ass in New York City. Sit your ass down. Where the fuck you going?
So Mozzie, I did some research, and since 1966, to recently, there has only been 2 Republican mayors. So we have good odds.
Nah, listen. Once he beat Cuomo, I think it's good. I think isn't the one of the Republican guys the guy with that used to be the guardian angel, the weirdo. Remember in the 80s he was the guardian angel.
That weirdo?
Yeah.
He's still around?
I think he's one of the Republican candidates. I'm not even paying attention to. I was just paying attention to Cuomo and him and
and he's running. Cuomo's running as an independent because he's not done.
He is.
He is.
Ah, fuck.
He just announced that shit today, little bitch.
Yeah, but
you know what though?
But he couldn't win the APAC money.
Mom
He's
Donnie
not
was
like
gonna do
New
the
York.
same thing if he lost. He was gonna do the same thing. But now him winning is big, bro. That's history.
Yeah, definitely.
I cannot wait. Yo, I love New York, bro. Fuck. Every time somebody asks me where you from, I never say America. I'm not from New York. How you doing?
I do the same
That's
thing.
his own country.
Wait, no, we are our own country. We are. But did you know 2024 and 2025, New York City is the best city in the world? Did you know that?
Period.
No, seriously, they did a study on it.
We're clearly the majority on the stage right now, guys.
No, but I mean, we clearly are, but I'm just saying, I have facts to prove it. The London is second and Paris is third.
Paris smell like piss and garbage. Period. Yo, these bitches try to rob me twice. No, fuck that. That place is terrible. Got gypsies everywhere. You trying to see the Eiffel Tower, you gotta watch your bag. Like, what's going on? I'm trying to be romantic. I can't be romantic right now.
Well, you trying to put the lock on the little thing?
Nah, I ain't doing all that. I don't know about all that. But like,
there's a spot where it's a bridge where you put a lock on with your.
Yeah, it's close. I passed it, but I didn't put a lock. It's booked up, sis. Like, you gotta go all the way, find a spot in the cut. Like, it's fun. Like, it's mad.
Paris is weak, bro. You go a couple times.
No. I'm not gonna front. Like, it's ghetto as hell. Like there's gangsters over there. I see some shit.
No, not weak in that sense. I'm saying weak. Once you go like you go a couple times, you had enough of your dose of Paris.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if my family didn't live there, I wouldn't be there. Like,
no, danger-wise, Paris is no joke. Like,
it's no joke. Like, my cousin was the plug on the block. Like, I see some shit. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the exact opposite from us. Like, the cities is where I hate to say it,
the suburbs are fucked up more.
Yeah, the suburbs in Paris is where all the ghettos is at and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Bonniers. Yeah.
I was like,
my family's from 92 though. My family's next to the park where the PSG plays, soccer team. It's a nice little area, but they used to live in the slums, bro. It was terrible business, man. Terrible business. And they found out you're American, bro. You gotta book it every time, bro. You can't even wear Jordans. What the fuck? I was 15 years old. You know we were all Jordan heads when we were 15. You know how it was. You get your Jordan, you get your matching belt with the Jordan, your matching little headband with your Jordan, the color.
I still match my headbands. I'm still matching my headbands.
You have to.
It's fucking amazing. Like,
you couldn't wear that when you was a parent. Fuck, that they gonna rob your shit. That's so. Come back in your underwear. No,
theism is kind of broken down. It's just a joke. It's a facade. It's based on bullshit.
But yeah,
none of these
this is
people
gonna be on there.
What the fuck's going on? And it's kind of getting tired.
As a Muslim, I feel very
I've gotten pretty good at this, I think. Honestly, I'm pat myself on the back. I feel fine about my views.
I'm very
proud about styles and tastes.
Well, first of all, New York City is one of the financial capitals of the world, so that's correct.
So I feel okay, personally.
To be the mayor of New York City is like.
But yeah, as far as the theism,
that's a big thing.
That's history.
What they do, and it's underwhelming. Holy fuck.
No,
Bloomberg was mayor for like 3 terms. He didn't want to give up being mayor.
Yeah, but us millennials, we remember him not letting us stay home from school during the snow days. Fuck him.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck him. So he could suck dick. All the Suffolk County and Nassau County got off.
You know they did it again. Now these kids don't even got a snow day.
Yeah, they all do
localism.
But a lot of people
go do it on your
Yeah, but Wednesday, when I was growing up, we couldn't even get Ramadan off. Now they get Ramadan.
Yeah, we used to have to get a note from our parents.
Sorry, not Ramadan, Eid.
Yeah, we had to get a note from our parents.
Because the population has changed.
Yeah,
I also realized that there's, out of all the cities in America, New York has the most Muslims.
In my opinion. You're like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, go Google it.
Is that true now? Because it used to be Michigan. Is it us now?
No, it's New York.
Way better.
For real?
Mars is just kind of
yeah.
okay.
I gotta check that. That's crazy.
Google it.
They're going to fucking
A lot of them in the Bronx. You know, they have a little Yemeni town over there.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't think people believe either.
It says Illinois than New York. What the fuck?
Oh, is it? Oh, damn.
I don't like that. No, it says New York on some of them. Wait.
What did you want?
Wait, what? What website should I use?
City-wise, not state, city-wise.
Oh, sorry.
Out of all the cities in America, New York has the most Muslims, city-wise.
Yeah, and is it in the future, P. Mars? Hello?
Hello?
I find it interesting that like people will say you're going to hell as opposed to saying you're in hell right now, because I think that the now is actually all there really is. Because if you look at it in terms of like the now, our memories is not what's real. The situation now is always the real situation. Your memories are like recordings that you play to yourself that takes you out of reality. And it's the same thing about thought projection of the future using your imagination. So, P-Mars, what do you mean when you say he's going to hell?
I mean, like, right now, I promise you that if you don't repent, you're going to hell.
Going to hell. And so, what is going to hell? What does that mean to you, P-Mars?
What does it mean to you? And then I'll tell you if it's the same thing.
I don't think that it means anything, because there is no hell and no one is going anywhere in the future. You'll still be in the now.
What?
Hello?
What?
Hello?
What?
Hello?
What?
Hello?
What?
Hello? Hello? So I gave you my definitions. Can you can you define what you're saying? Hello?
What? What?
Okay, he's all yours, Honey Badger.
What?
Yeah, I'm not. Like, P-Mars is just a bore to me, dude. Like, notice he hasn't said anything.
Well, he said you're going to hell unless you repent now, and he said what about 10 times?
Yeah, so, okay, P-Mars, am I with God right now? Alright, this guy sucks, you know, but, you know, it's just boring, dude. It takes too long. These guys are just fucking retards, dude.
So, Honey Badger, do you think there's this thing called the future?
Well, yeah, in some sense about how human minds process information. Yeah.
But it's not actually real, it's still in our mind.
Yeah, because at any point I could drop in. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is the human brain is so powerful and capable, it actually thinks that there's this thing called the future, meaning that it's like this linear timeline, and that, you know, next Thursday, I mean, that's like scheduling and coordinating, but that's not actually the future. The future is always now. It sounds cliche or, you know, new age spiritual, but if you really contemplate it, you'll realize life is like Groundhog Day. I mean, there's this saying that, like, all the anxiety that you can experience now won't make a difference to whatever is going to happen. But truly, if you do want to change the future, the only way to change it is now. Meaning, if you change yourself, you might change your outcome for the better. And there's still no guarantee that it's going to be better, per se. But, I mean, that's why I think the Bible is important. Because the information in there is psychological and emotional in nature. And so the greater your emotional and psychological durability and strength, the greater the chances are of your now or your future, or even your past, you know, being modified for a better now.
interesting stuff, man. And that's, I think, the thing that distinguishes us is just simply that we're the kind of animal that at least we can identify in each other and amongst the others that kind of thinks in these parameters. I don't know what an octopus thinks about, or orcas, or fucking corvids or anything, but it doesn't seem like they're necessarily framing things in this way.
They are emotional, though. Have you ever seen a horse cry?
Yeah, no, I think I think other animals definitely have emotional intelligence. I just, for some reason, it seems like this is, I mean, we're shape-shifting based on mental states, right? We're influencing the material environment that all the animals share with ideas that we have in our heads, right? I mean, that's pretty nuts. Not saying that it's better, right? I'm not saying that, but that does distinguish us, and that trips me out. So there's a lot to go on, a lot to think about.
But I mean, you don't see a horse being political. You don't see your dog being political. So.
Now, but what you could say that they are, in a relative sense, right? Like if you watch dogs, even I don't like dog parks. It's dumb. But if you go to a dog park or you happen to be by one and you look, there's fucking politics going on, dude.
It's nonverbal, though. I mean, maybe you could say a dog's barking is, if you're walking by a house and a dog barks at you, is the dog gaslighting you because it wants you to look at him to give his brain the dopamine feedback?
Yeah, but it's a lot more layered than that. There's a lot of body language, posturing. There's a lot of pheromone stuff going on that we're not even aware of. There's tons of shit going on amongst other creatures that we're not identifying.
Well, that's what's happening when people come in your room and they play the game with you. If they don't give you what you want, that's their form of politically one-upping you. Or verbally one-upping you.
It's an attempt, yeah. Which I think is stupid. Like, why even come up? Like, you know what I'm going to ask you. You know what I'm going to do. It's just...
Because that's their strategy. Like, the brain, it's really brain versus brain. And so, I mean, regardless of the sound, the voice, the person, the personality, it's still like a pink, fleshy thing in your skull cap, which is gaming other pink, fleshy skull caps.
Have you talked with 118 before?
Yeah, you're all going to hell.
Yeah, see, like that. Like, so 118, here's the thing. When someone who claims to believe in anything biblical regarding gods and supernatural forces and outcomes, and they start off like that, it just more solidifies my belief that you guys take that seriously. And it's okay. Like it's mostly pride, right? It's like at this point you guys are just like so sunk in, and it's part of pride.
You're so easy, honey badger. Come on, man.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like I agree with you, dude. I'm laughing with you, dude. I'm not even condemning you. I'm just like, I think it's all mostly ego at this point.
I just think it's funny. It's the first thing that fucker says every time he comes into you're going to hell. You're all going to hell.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, so you know it's a joke, right? You said it, yeah, as if that was like, gonna be really funny. And the fact that it's even said and then like joked about, like, is there a hell or not? Is there one?
I don't think there's a place that you're gonna go when you die and burn for all eternity. I think a lot of people get trapped in hell in their own minds right here on Earth.
Yeah, or just right now, right? Like you have hell or you don't have something like that.
There's an old poem from like the 1920s. I can't remember exactly how it goes. The reference something like, a mind is a world of its own. And understanding that concept, you can find heaven on earth and hell in heaven. And don't get me wrong, I still believe in a creator, God. I don't necessarily think that you need organized religion to have an intuitive outlook on the world and see that it's created from an intelligent being. However, I think that organized religion has really implicated the politics, right, behind it and used it in such a way that almost as mind control to control the population.
You could say though that it could liberate the population just as much as it can control the population. It's all a game, and the people who have the linguistic capabilities are part of that game for domination in what you would consider to be the superior intelligence.
So you think liberation is tricking people into following false ideologies?
No, what I'm saying is, like, in a despotic, tyrannical government, a religious leader can arise and use the linguistics from these books to liberate the people. And that's basically what Jesus did. He was in a meat grinder against the Romans, against his own people, and he was preaching liberation against political tyranny, against religious tyranny. So it is all liberation theology.
Yeah, if Jesus was a communist, I understand that. That's no problem.
Well, what kind of communist? Like a 1940s communist? Or like what exactly? Like a Jewish terrorist Bolshevik communist? Like what kind of communist was this guy? See, when I hear people talk shit about Jesus or talk shit about Donald Trump, that immediately piques my ears, and I say, you know what? I don't like people that talk shit about anybody.
Why do you think saying Jesus was a communist is talking shit? Do you not believe in, like...
Well, it's a facetious, meaningless comment. It's like saying, 2 strawberries is better than 3 strawberries.
So tell me this. So when Jesus says, pay the worker, right, that only worked an hour, the same amount as he paid the worker that worked all day, what do you think that is? What do you think that's representing?
I don't know. Maybe communism?
No, I don't know. I just like to talk shit because I don't know what I'm talking about. See, this is the kind of shit that pisses me off about people. When I make a comment like that, and then they open their mouth, and next thing it comes out is bullshit. You can't defend their fucking...
Really? So me calling out your bullshit now becomes my bullshit. Okay.
What does Jesus mean when in that parable, in that phrase, when he says pay the guy the same amount for his wages and his labor as the guy who worked all day? What is the reference there? Just answer that question.
I don't know. Which Bible passage is that? Let me look it up so we can discuss it in greater detail.
Are you trying to
No, I'm serious right now. Give me the chapter and verse so we can have a very thorough conversation, because I don't think your quote is actually very accurate. It's just my opinion.
Did you switch into troll mode real quick?
Yeah, I can switch into troll mode very quick. When I hear people say that Jesus was a communist, now I know right away they're very stupid. Oh, welcome back to hell. Welcome to the Hell Show. I thought it was a barbecue roast. Turns out that this barbecue party's in a place called hell.
What do you have against communists? Are you anti-communist?
I am done communicating with you, number 118. Please return back to your receptacle to recharge and receive further information and instructions.
Alright, what's going on?
I have no idea.
Jesus is a communist. Didn't you know that, honey?
No. So what's going on, 118? Are you so you're not a Christian, or you are? You a Christian, 118?
I think he's trying to explain it to us a few times now.
What did he say? I had to walk away for a second.
It's a little bit more on the spiritual side. I don't think he's gonna commit to a denomination or anything, and he has some unorthodox ideas. That's not
118. Do you think that you're saved?
What do you mean being saved?
Okay, so you're not a Christian then.
Like, are you in good standing with God? Are you going to heaven when you pass away in the afterlife? Like, you're saved by Jesus. You're saved.
Well, yeah, he should know what I mean. If he was a Christian, he wouldn't ask that. That's why I just determined that he's just not a Christian.
I'm hitting them with all the loaded language that the Christians use.
All the loaded language.
Have you let Jesus into your heart?
Yeah. Are you saved or not?
Have I accepted Jesus as the light and the truth and the only way to the Father?
Look, dude, if you want to play games, that's fine. Look, I understand it's hard.
I've explained my position to you before, Honey Badger.
Well, I'm just asking you right now.
Well, okay, so I'll explain myself again. As far as, like, saying that I'm a Christian, right? I do believe in the teachings of Christ. I do believe in loving thy neighbor, right? I believe in...
you're just a dagger.
So, if you want to say that I'm a Christian in that sense, then sure.
Yeah, I'm going to give you an acronym you can use. Sadakmak Bivtaj. You heard that?
No. Is that under the G-spot?
Is it like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
No. If you say it like that, then yeah, I understand that, John.
No, it's an acronym. It just means, so, I don't consider myself a Christian, but I follow the teachings of Jesus.
There you go.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So...
By definition, though, a Christian is someone who follows the teachings of Christ.
So I kind of agree with you in the sense that I don't think you have to believe Jesus is God to be a Christian. I think as long as you think, like, maybe he's the most moral person who ever lived, or his ethics were just incredible, that would make you a Christian.
Right? Beyond his time, it was...
Okay. You don't think he was God himself?
Oh, see never.
Oh, no.
See, maybe.
Yeah, I think the whole Trinitarian thing is like whack, anyways.
Do you believe he's the Son of God?
I'm agnostic about that. 50-50, man. It could be a possibility.
So no, not technically. If someone were to ask you if you believe it, you'd say not really, because you don't, right? Actively.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you don't actively believe that he's the Son of God, do you? See what I mean? You can't be 50-50, dude. It's like, oh, I kind of do, but, you know, half of me says yes, half the evidence appears to point, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think half the evidence says yes, and the other half says no.
Yeah, see, you're not 50-50. Like, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, you're just, you guys say these, like, baby talk phrases and shit about what you guys...
What do you want, dude? Do you want me to just be, like, have this open, sincere, heart-filled conversation with you with, like, fucking John the Troll on stage and, like, all these atheists and all this other bullshit?
John the Troll on stage? What does that mean, the troll? Like, what is that? I'm not a human. I'm not communicating intelligently. Like, what is it that makes me a troll? I find that to be very political.
To be truly vulnerable in front of us right now. Also in front of these strangers, you know.
Yeah, I don't...
That's what we want.
Look, 118, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable, right? And I don't want you to feel like you're going to be trapped like most Christians do, you know, when you ask a simple question.
You know better than that, dude. I'm an honest walker. Like, I have no reason to bullshit about things.
Yeah. And I don't want you to feel like you're on the back foot or you have to be wary or anything like that. Because a lot of Christians feel like that, you know. So I don't want you to feel like that. And, I mean, I don't need you to be all heartfelt. I'm just... Like I said, you know what I'm here for, right? Like, I don't need to talk about dolls.
Honestly, I don't know what you're for.
Or wolves, right? I don't need to talk about wolves with you in Alaska, right? I don't need to talk about salmon or snowmobiling or anything. I can ask you about God stuff, and if you don't want to open up about that, that's okay.
We've already had the discussion about God stuff about beliefs a million times, but if you would like to go through it again, right, refresh the memory, we can.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess I didn't get it the first time. So, do you believe that God does things in my reality?
Sure. I think reality is static for everyone, and I think God does perform actions in reality, so that answers your question.
Okay. And how can I tell when it's God doing something or not? Or is he just responsible for all things?
God's not responsible for all things. That's for sure, right? God set in the motion for things to happen, but he's not responsible for all things. We have this thing, right, called free will,
So he intentionally set things up to happen later on?
God started things off, right, and gave humans free will. Like, are you talking about, like, moral actions, or are you talking about, like, the amount of trees that's growing, or are you talking about, like, the fucking amount of McDonald's that's popped up? Like, what exactly do you mean when you said that God set things up for the future to happen?
Well, same thing you mean. You're the one who said that he got things moving. And then
the first cause, the unmoved mover, the creator of all things that you know of.
Yeah. So that's why I'm asking for clarification. I don't know what you mean. So
God, I think God started the world, right? I think God created the world, the universe, our environment, set it up, right? Created human beings, gave us free will, put morality on our hearts so we can know right from wrong in this world when we observe things. Yeah.
Okay. Did Adam and Eve have anything to do with this? Are they real people in your life, or is that just kind of metaphor?
Oh man, you know. I tell you what, this
kind of story, kind of a Jewish tale.
I think more and more, I think that Adam and Eve used to be one being, and I think they were a light being created in God's image, and I think they were pretty powerful and was able to, like...
What was the gender of this one being? Were they androgynous?
I don't know. But what I think happened is fucking it pissed Satan off, right? So Satan decides to split Adam and Eve up into two different beings.
It was Satan that did that? Oh my God!
Physical bodies. And now, right, they were scared of him. So their reaction of being scared of him was worshiping him. And I think maybe that might be the God of the Old Testament, is Satan.
Fear. Are you sure? So wait, you're saying the snake did the separation of the genders and created Adam and Eve? It wasn't God, the Father?
You said you were done talking to me. What the fuck are you doing speaking to me?
Why are you using profanity? Are you upset about something? I'm just asking about your interpretation of the Bible. It's a fascinating interpretation, number 118. But I guess I shouldn't speak with you. Please go back to your receptacle and receive new energy and new information and for your storage. Thank you, number 118.
Hey, Lamb Chop down there in the audience. I would just... It's just dumb, dude. You always sound dumb when we talk. I don't believe you for like a minute that you believe 40% of the shit that you said. So when you're ready to talk, come on. Yeah, none of this makes sense, 118. So I asked you, it was very simple. So you think God's kind of surprised at the outcomes? Is that what's going on?
Surprised?
Yeah, like he didn't know what was coming, because it's like it seems like you want to say he started it all, right? Then it almost seems like you make him a little more like a deistic God, like you're like, yeah, he started it all, but he's not really sure what was going to happen, and then all this other stuff started happening.
Well, it's... I think that God knows all things, but I think that the only reason that God knows all things is because he sits outside of time. He sits outside of our time frame. Now, it would be almost contradictory, right, to say that God knew all things before he created us and gave us free will, right? There seems like there's a contradiction there. Why would we need free will if God knew all things already, right? I think God knows all things that we have done before we do them, because something like John was saying earlier, if you look at it like the future doesn't exist, it's already happening, it's right now, then of course God's already going to know, right?
So what you're saying is the now is a compression of the past and the future?
And don't forget the present. Yeah. Past, present, and future. That's how God sees things. We can't see things that way, obviously.
How do you wait? So you just like, I mean, do you think that you have a good grasp on how God sees things?
Dude, I don't know jack shit about God.
You don't know jack shit. That's my position. You don't know jack shit.
I don't know anything 100% about what God thinks.
No. I don't even think you know half of a minuscule of a percent, dude. This is the thing. I don't think you know. I agree with you. You don't know jack shit about what God thinks about or does.
There's brown shoes.
Maybe that's true. Maybe I don't. Why would you?
So then stop saying.
Why would you?
God didn't do this because that means
Look, you're not asking me what I think God is sitting around like, thinking about all the time, right? You're asking me about God's actions, right, that I can reflect on already, right? It's things that's already there.
Yeah, but what if I...
Yeah, but what, motherfucker?
Yeah, but what if I told you that I actually had revelation from a different being than the God that you're kind of confining to these parameters that you speak of, and it let me know that you've fallen
brown
for
shoes
it,
of the black suit.
right?
Bad
And
sense of
part
style
the
and even
bigger
worse
test
personality,
that some
twisted
of you gullible
demented
motherfuckers
perception of
are going
reality.
to believe these lame little stories and talk like this, and it's
Wears brown shoes with a black
revelatory
suit.
truth that I have received. Would you believe me?
Yes, Andrew, I done told you, Sensei, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is endless, dude. So it's just, look,
I'm waiting for the truth, motherfucker. Share your truth with everybody. I think you're being selfish right now. If you know the ultimate truth and you're keeping it all to yourself, man.
I agree. Listen, you're with me, dude, because this is why when we talk to people like Andrew R. or Sheep of the Lord, right? Or Tim, right? Or these dorks that pretend that they talk to God. Whenever I ask them, just like I asked this chick who used to be here, she was sabotaging, or actually hijacking rather, Cool Man's icon. Fooled me for a second. I thought Cool Man was in here, so I goaded him. But whenever we ask them, tell us something important and compelling that God or
She's not okay with being streamed. We're talking about that.
They never.
I was talking about orgasms and different types of orgasms, and then I was told to shut up because it was being streamed, but whatever, I'll talk about the orgasm.
I don't need to share that with you. And I'm like, you're telling me that Jesus gave you information and talks to you, and you don't want to share the word of Jesus with everyone else? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
this is bullshit, dude. This is fucking bullshit in 2018, and you know it.
Like I said, man, I think there's something deeper to being a human being and having intuition and being able to observe our world that you can kind of self-reflect on, right? You don't need a denomination or organized religion to look into the world and see synchronicity and see that things work harmonious and that they're connected.
Well, wait, I just make sure. I don't believe this. Because earlier you were referencing when I made comments about Adam and Eve and stuff, you started talking about Satan and shit. It's like, where do you get these ideas from?
Oh, just here and there.
Yeah, like the Bible and stuff, the religious stuff.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Bible does say, right, that Satan is the fucking god of this world and the prince of darkness, the morning star, right? It says that.
Yeah,
Satan
the fallen angel
over this world.
Is he a fallen angel too?
Well, yeah, according to the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, according to the Bible. So you believe that Lucifer was one of God's first angels? Right?
Look, do I believe that Lucifer was one of God's first angels? I mean, if you're going by the narrative of the Christian narrative, of the biblical Christian narrative of the story, then yeah, that's what it says, man.
Okay, look, dude. See, this is the kind of bullshit you guys pull too. You pretend that you believe something, and then you give us.
I'm not a fundamentalist, dude.
It doesn't matter.
I think there's a fine line, right?
Look, all I did is ask you, right? What was your answer? You started referencing other folks. just tell me, dude, do you think Lucifer is a fucking fallen angel?
Yes.
See how easy that was? Instead, you're like, well, you know, if you were to go off like what, you know, the story is of the Christian Bible and stuff, like, why do you say all that stuff? Either you believe it's true or not. I don't have to tell you any kind of any preamble about it. All I have to do is go, no, I don't believe that's true because, you know what, I think the Bible's fiction. I don't think Yahweh is a real God. I don't think Allah exists. I think it's all fake.
You know why? Why don't you think Yahweh is real?
Oh, I just think it is obvious that men wrote it.
Well, okay, just so a man wrote it, that means it's not real. So you're telling me because Eddie Crocker writes
That's not all. No, false analogy.
Is that what you're saying to me?
No.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
Okay, here, I'll give you an example, okay? Have you ever seen Star Wars?
Honey Badger, I wanted to ask you, have you ever read the Egyptian Book of the Dead?
No, hold on. 118, have you ever seen Star Wars?
You know I have.
Hey, I don't know that, okay?
Yes, you do. You know that just like you know that God exists.
Oh my God, see, this is where we go. Okay, so I can acknowledge that men write books, and I can also acknowledge that some of them are fiction. And that's the class that I took the Bible.
Okay, so
yeah, it's like a mytho.
That automatically makes the Bible fiction. Okay, I got you.
No, I'm saying in my opinion, based on what I've assessed, it seems to be mostly a myth.
Oh, so you're using the fallacy of appealing to your own emotions. I understand.
Honey Badger, when you asked him if he's ever seen Star Wars, my point about bringing up the Egyptian Book of the Dead is that Star Wars is just the updated version of the Bible.
Ah, okay. All right, but I don't want to get off track here, so I want to pin this guy. So, 118, do you understand what I'm saying is that I can read books and just consider them fiction and not think they're talking about real things? And that's what I seem to get from the Bible. Just like you do when you talk about the Quran, right? You read the Quran and you're like, yeah, I don't know, nothing much to see here. I'm just doing that with your book.
I love how you sneak in these little below the belt jabs when you use terminologies and words like your God and your book. That's real clever, dude. I mean, I gotta give it to you, right?
What's incorrect about how I framed it? Because it ain't my God. I don't think gods exist. You do.
Well, just because you don't think God doesn't exist doesn't mean jack shit, right? Doesn't mean that you're wrong.
That's right. It doesn't matter what I think.
It doesn't matter.
Right. So what you're saying,
in this world, right? There either is a creator God or there isn't.
Okay.
Right? And not both of us can be right.
Okay.
And so, using all the provided information, right, and using personal testimony as evidence from the majority of the world, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to have to go with the consensus now on this one.
Right, General, where are you from?
I can't like to come on over.
So my question to you is whether or not the U.S. is ready to sell anti-air missile systems Patriot to Ukraine. We know that Russia has been pounding Ukraine really heavily right now.
Living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there, and
I can see you very, it's amazing.
and me with the kids. I'm in Warsaw actually because he wanted to.
Is your husband a soldier now? He's there now?
God and all,
Wow, that's rough stuff, right? Rough stuff. And you're living here?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
Yahweh.
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you, we do want to have the anti-missile missiles, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available. They're very hard to get. We need them to. We were supplying them to Israel.
Yeah.
And they're very effective. 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good question. And I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see
So you're saying it's Allah?
very upsetting to you.
Muslims.
So, Say hello to your husband, okay?
I don't know that. Oh, okay, so you don't know if the one that the Bible's describing is the one that you believe in?
Right, I don't have an intuition.
Yeah, the 118, you gotta follow along, dude. Do you believe
This is a dream of mine.
talking about is your God?
Department of Homeland. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want I'm trying to figure out.
Have you tried
like sharp time? We know you have a sharp time.
I think you should just try it.
Yeah, I mean, you have first class seats as far as there's going to be plenty of room. I've flown them before.
I'm lying to myself.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, so you're saying that
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? They don't know what.
At the CDC today, the nation's leading vaccine advisory body meet to discuss and vote on several key immunization guidelines for the fall season. Among the agenda items, discussions on the safety of a well-tested ingredient found in self-flu vaccines that has already been largely phased out, as well as recommendations surrounding RSV shots, particularly for children.
For too long, the warm ally, the United States, carried too much of the burden of that commitment. And that changes today. President Trump, dear Donald, you made this change possible. Your leadership on this has already produced $1 trillion in extra spending from European allies since 2016. And the decisions today will produce trillions more for our...
I didn't know until today that you married a man who's a lot older. Yes. He's 59, you're 27. Yes.
The date marks the 2-year.
Well, the Trump administration is giving the green light to a... Hey guys, it is a heavy morning, a hefty dose every...
You want to know what I discovered after talking?
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. This is different than the chat, buddy. Okay, now this is on stage. So now you get a chance to talk to everybody. So yeah, what's your point?
So we're gonna align our definitions, what we mean by subjective morality, right? And so when you say morality is subjective, is that based on the society that determines morality, or is it based on the individual?
Okay, so hold on. I'll be happy to go all into that. Here's my question. I already told you that as an atheist, my worldview is subjective, so it's subjective morality. Okay, there's no contradiction in saying you accept that morality is subjective. So do you just want to go down this route because you like doing philosophy? Because it's not going to disprove anything I'm saying if you prove that morality is subjective.
So if you say morality is subjective, to whom are you referring to? Who is the key?
I'll do that in a moment. What I'm just saying is, even if morality is completely subjective, there's still no God.
No, there will be God, right? There will be a power. There will be a being that would maybe not. I guess if you don't want to call it God, there would be a being that gives the law of morality that holds to.
So here's the way it works. Even if morality is subjective, that doesn't mean you win by default. Okay? Even if morality is subjective, that would mean that you still need to provide evidence that a God exists.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, right?
Why don't we just jump to that point? Why don't we just jump to that point?
So, I am jumping to that point. What you're saying is morality without a a being or someone being subjective, right? The point of being objective morality is that there's something that is going to hold you accountable to keep that morality, right?
Will you say
objective? Would you agree with that?
no? That is the claim people make.
So you don't agree with that,
I don't agree with that. I would simply say that.
So then who is? I want to have a conversation with Abed. Okay.
Yeah.
So who is the keeper of the morality, the subject morality?
Wait, Chief, you're why are you begging the question? You're like, who's the keeper of the morality? There's nobody
Yes.
who's the keeper of the morality.
Because you said subject. Then so everyone is subjective morality. Yes.
So I'll go into subjective morality. I'm happy to do that.
No,
But I just
objective.
wanna say, are you conceding? Yeah, I'll go into both of those. But I'm saying, are you conceding? Do you not have evidence for the God? Because I said to you, why do you believe?
No, I have evidence for God. Objective.
Okay, so let's confirm that the God exists. We're talking about what He wants us to do and who He wants us to have sex with. Okay, that's kind of important to make sure that He actually exists before you start telling me what He wants me to do with my life.
Sure, go ahead. What?
Okay, why do you think God actually exists?
Because there's objective morality that is set for us human beings to make sure that everything operates as orderly as it's made to be.
Okay, how do you know that there's objective morality? And don't point to the book, okay? You know Honey's very impartial to the Bible. So don't point to the Bible and say, because the Bible says that. Do you have any type of scientific evidence that a God exists?
Of course.
And that He has objective morals?
There's two things that you would fall into with the scientific evidence, right? If I was to present to you a scientific evidence, that's an experiment or a study that's done based on what we can see and understand and perceive, right? And so we believe that God is outside of time and that we cannot see Him. Rather, He reveals Himself to us. So science cannot prove whether God exists or not. But it does prove, though, right, that God exists because we have orderly things that morality is one of them, right?
What do you mean by orderly things? What does that even mean?
Wait, can I just interject? What does it matter whether or not we can prove God or not? Why don't you just look at the information and determine whether or not you like it and whether or not it's useful for you?
Because if I determine...
That's a pragmatic argument. That does not mean it's true.
If I determine, right, what is good or bad, then what may be good to me may not be good to you, John. So if I say, I want to go steal John's house, right, and steal his whatever he's got, that's good for me, and it benefits me, but it's not going to benefit you. So,
but
John,
it's amazing that the only thing you seem to have here is this fear-mongering that if there's no objective morality, everything's going to break down. But you don't have any reason to think there is objective morality. Whereas from my viewpoint, I know morality is subjective. And society doesn't break down. You know why? Because you have millions of subjective people. They all want good stuff for themselves, but they also recognize the golden rule, which is that if I keep taking away people's houses, people are going to come take away my house. So that is the difference in subjective moral systems.
That is not true.
Let me finish. You try to fearmonger and say, oh, we need objective morality, which is still, by the way, an argument from pragmatism. It's not saying an argument from truth. You're saying we need an objective morality because society will break down. But the point is, there is no evidence for objective morality. Even if society would break down, it still wouldn't be fucking true.
That is not true, Abe, because there is a group of society in which that they determine that a specific people or a specific topic, that they as a society decided that group of people are not worth more than they are, right? That could be race, or that could be the Romans, that could be the Egyptians, or anyone that you could look at in history, as a society that have decided to value that their morality and their value is better and more important than anyone else. And so you're saying that is actually
morals change over time. This is about morals change over time.
It's not objective.
That means yes,
it's
correct.
subjective.
It's not objective. Yes. But by the very nature, in Roman times, they literally, parents used to bring their children to watch the gladiator games in the Coliseum. And everybody loved it. They literally watched, they were fine with their children watching people get murdered in front of their eyes, and everyone was like, oh, did you see that? There were some people who didn't like it, but most people, they were fine with it. So the point is, nowadays, no parent, almost no parent, would take their child to the Coliseum to watch people get murdered because morals change.
You're referring to the western side. You don't know that in other places, other countries.
Correct. I don't know that. I'm pointing out that it's subjective. Yeah, it's
right?
subjective.
So the problem with the subjective morality, this is what you would have, right? Because you have separated society, believe something else than the other, right? And you're assuming that because you have a subjective morality that...
And that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
It is a big problem. It's a big
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. No, I know. Let me finish. Boss. This is the reason why. Disagreement is a conflict, but it's not a problem. And furthermore, religious people, they have disagreements all the fucking time, even though they believe in objective morality. So you don't get out of this problem by saying, oh, if only morality was objective. You have a million Christian sects all arguing with each other, and they all believe in objective morality, and yet they can't agree on a single fucking thing.
No number.
So, yes, humans are messy creatures. We sometimes have disagreements and conflicts. That's why it's important to have dialogue and debate and questioning and not have objective morality, which is essentially just trying to force your belief on somebody else, which is your subjective belief. Even right now, you telling me I believe in subjective morality, I believe in objective morality, that is your subjective view, and you're entitled to it. But I'm also entitled to point out that it's coming from you. There's nothing in the universe that is forcing us to believe in objective morality. It's all subjective.
Objective morality, but they can't agree on anything? What is that supposed to mean? They all believe in objective morality, but they can't agree on anything. That's literally what you said. Could you mind elaborating on that?
Yeah, it's subjective morality. By the way, most people do not like that. You should fear-mongering to make it sound worse. Most people agree on a lot of stuff. I'm sure literally in this room, if we took like the atheists and the theists, and we actually just started talking to them about all the other beliefs they have in their lives besides for the one thing they disagree on, the atheism or the theism, 99% of their beliefs are probably going to be the same. They both believe that they want their like loved ones and their families to be safe and healthy. They both believe they want a good paying job and a good place to live and a place that's not dangerous. Like literally all the shit they want. Theists and atheists want the same stuff. So yeah, already people tend to believe that human well-being is very important. Whoever you are, if they didn't believe that, they tend not to be living here. What usually happens is nature self-selects for the people who care about their well-being. They try to survive and have well-being. So the point I'm making is that yes, people can disagree on tiny things. With secularism and humanism, as long as people are starting off with a foundation of human well-being, we can now make moral judgments on what is correct or incorrect or right or wrong. And I'll give one example because I teach chess, so I love giving the chess analogy. The chess analogy is that the way pieces on a chessboard move is completely subjective. Like there's no logic why a rook moves up and down and a bishop moves diagonal. But once you accept that the rules of chess are what they are, which is that the pieces move like this, after that, there are 100% objectively good and bad moves. Like if you want to move your queen into a place that's going to get taken for a pawn, that is objectively a bad move 99% of the time. And because if you care about winning, you have to care about winning, which is well-being, right? Why would you play a game of chess if you're not going to try to win? So the point is, yes, once you have to accept that the rules of chess are what they are. But once you accept that they are what they are, the pieces and the strategies we can 100% assess objectively. And it's the same in life. Life is just like a game of chess. And once you accept that you care about your well-being, it is objectively wrong to just walk down the street and cut off someone's head. It just is objectively wrong. And that's the way I look at it.
That's a hypothetical imperative. More to the point, I think that's a hypothetical imperative, right? I want to win. therefore this is a good vote, right? And that's still going to be held by a subject. The I want to win is a subjective thing, right?
Correct, and I acknowledge that. But what I'm saying is everybody does it, and that's all you need to have a functioning like society. And the idea again, and if this is a philosophical issue, which I'm not convinced it is, it's not solved by saying we have a religion that has an objective morality. Like I told you, religious people fight all the time, and they all believe, or most of them believe in objective morality. So all I'm saying is like fear mongering that religious people tend to do. They're like, oh, Abe, you don't have any objective morality, so you can't, solve these problems. Well, you can't either, buddy.
Well, how many times are we gonna say objective, subjective, subjective, objective?
We'll say it as many times as we need to.
Okay, so I remember what John is now. So hey, let me get this straight though.
I remember who number 118 is.
You think it's okay to compare, right, by the universe and human beings and morality, right, and God to someone that created a chess game? Right? Like, I agree with God, but still though, right? It's an analogy, just roll with me for a minute, right? So, in order to accept the chess game as objective and the moves to be objective in order to win, alright, well, I think that's the same thing with God. In order to know, right, and realize that your heart is right about what is good, that you should not rape or kill anybody, and you should never rape anyone no matter what, ever, how you feel about it, and you should never kill anyone or take anyone's life when you're unjustified. The only way that makes that objective, right, is accepting the fact that it does come from God. And if not, then it's anybody's choice or game to what is right or what is wrong in this world. Just because we live in a world that we have currently 8 billion people on this planet, right? That's pretty hard to get just everyone to align on their own, right? That you shouldn't do these things that you know that you should not do or ought not do, right? I have the power and capability of doing a lot of things in this world, but I know I shouldn't do them because it's written on my heart that it's wrong, not just because I think that it's wrong or that I think that it's right.
Like coming on Clown House and running your mouth every single day about nothing?
You're really quiet, Sean, can you get any closer?
Does that help? Is that better?
Yeah, I think that helps. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's up? Yeah, you're conflating like this objective assessment. Like the hypothetical imperative is letting you know if you care about something, right? That's what the hypothetical imperative is illustrating. Then we can make objective assessments. But you're not presenting us that with this objective reality that you're presenting to us by God. You're just, to me, it just sounds like you're emoting like, I don't like rape, I don't like murder. But then you're not telling me like where this fact of the matter is in reality, independent of you not liking it.
It has nothing to do with just my personal reference of not liking it, right? Everyone alive.
To escape, Furiosa sacrificed her left arm. With unwavering determination, she made it back to the Citadel. She found a discarded mechanical arm, gave it a good polish, then attached it to her stump and got a buzzer. Joe sent a few cars to Oil Town, kicking up a massive cloud of dust to create the illusion of a full-scale assault. Dementus watched the scene, decided to launch a bold attack onto the Citadel. Little did he know, every move he made was under watchful eye. Soon, Dementus was ambushed by Immortan Joe's army on his way. His troops were quickly defeated, and he narrowly escaped with a few of his men. While Joe's men were tallying up the spoils, Furiosa hopped into a vehicle and sped off in pursuit of Dementus. Before long, she caught up with his convoy. Dementus ordered his men to head in 3 different directions. Furiosa couldn't tell which one was the real Dementus, so she chased after one of the vehicles. Eventually, Furiosa ramming the escort motorcycles to the ground, then charged straight towards Dementus' body. But on Dementus' bike sat an old man who threw a rag to block Furiosa's view. Fortunately, she braked just in time to escape.
Here's the thing.
This is way more entertaining than saying how it's on
Yeah, you guys gotta quit it.
Every time I make an assessment that something is wrong, I go out of my way to avoid it. That's like what the assessment. Hey, that's what the assessment of wrong is. Like, look it up. Shut the fuck up. I mean, I hold on. Hold on one second.
I'm gonna bring back 118 when he stops.
When he stops over fucking, thank you very much. I will promise I'll be quick. You can totally go, right? All I'm saying is that when I make an assessment that something is wrong, what follows from that is I'm going to avoid it at all costs. I'm going to make conscious decisions to not encounter it in every way possible. That is what the wrong assessment means to me. So the very idea that you can now flip that on its head, and I'm going to go, oh, look, it's wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway, never, ever, ever occurs.
Yeah, I mean, look, I personally didn't agree with you, but I think it's actually been disputed in philosophy, like moral philosophy. Like, so there are views that say that, like, you know, like moral realism is true, right? But they're not motivational, right? Like, there's no reason to think that you could know what the right thing to do is, but it would still not be motivational to you in any way. Like, I think this is like for example, Cornell realism is a view, right? That thinks that has this kind of approach. Again, that's not really my view.
Deepak, you're bringing the IQ of the room up. We have to keep it stupid. Don't say this. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing, Deepak. I'll steel man your argument because what's interesting to me is I read like some examples of like serial killers, and apparently there have been serial killers who, like, when they murdered people, like they like threw up or they couldn't take what they were doing, but they did it anyway. So that actually got me thinking, like, how could they, like, want to kill someone if it actually disgusted them? And that would kind of maybe go to what you were saying. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they still killed people. And they obviously felt that killing the person was worth throwing up at the very least. So there's still a type of, like, measurement going on there where they're, like, gauging what I want to do versus, okay, I want to do this, but I kind of don't want to do it. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to do it.
Right, they're making the assessment that there's more to be gained doing so in terms of thrill,
For example, people are being able to share similar values,
you know, it's like
regularly show affection, trust,
right, but you do it anyway because you're making some assessment. And when I come home and I wake up the next day, I'm like, oh, I regret everything. Right? Sure, okay, that's, me recognizing in hindsight that maybe wasn't such a good idea. But at the time that I was doing it, that's not what I was thinking. That's not the assessment that I actually made. The assessment I made is it wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but I think realists, actually it's easier for realists to hold this view, right? That, like, look, like, moral judgments, moral truths are facts about the world. They're just out there, right, in some spooky way. But they don't, like, necessarily motivate behavior, right? Like, it certainly wouldn't follow for them that, like, it's analytically true, right? That, like, if you know that something is wrong, then you shouldn't do it.
And you're just saying, oh, but he's doing this. But I'm trying to explain to you that if he could do that, that means other people can too. So don't try.
That's adopting a particular sort of ethics, right? Like, talk about the meta-ethical part, like, meaning, like, what it is, like, what the ontological status of morality is, right? But how it relates to
How can we talk about the ontological status of morality without talking about the ontological reference of morality?
Which is God, of course. Okay, to put it another way, right? Like, I think Shanita, what you're saying is, like, Shanita, what you're saying, I think, would be, like, the correct description of what happens in the serial killer case, right? It's just, I agree with that. I think that's typically what happens is that, like, their values are in conflict, right? They end up going with, like, some crazy other value that they have. But realists would look at it differently.
Surely there's a small minority of psychopaths that wouldn't realise what they're doing wrong, and even if they did realise, wouldn't care, right?
I mean, in an anti-realist view, like, there's no concept of them not knowing what they're doing was wrong, right? Like, from their subjective stance, like, they're not doing anything wrong.
That.
I mean, there are serial killers who will still admit, I think this is wrong, but they're kind of talking in the way that like society talks. They're just saying like, yeah, society doesn't want me to do this, but I kind of want to do it, so I'm not going to listen. So I'm still making a judgment. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, Deepak, but I'm just saying like, I think it comes closer to like the foundational claim of moral realism, which I think is untenable. I don't think you can show there's morals out there any more than you can show that like the platonic realm of numbers is real. Like I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but yeah, it's smart people hold the opposite view, so I don't.
Well, I mean, when people like 118 starts talking about how Satan divided Adam and Eve and we live in Satan's realm, I mean, that's when my red flags go off, not my green flags, like when I study mathematics and calculus and things of that nature, which are actually, you know, based in the real world, not this science fiction imagination la la land that people like to live in and project to you and expect that you know, respect and want to give, you know, your ear to their fantasy, you know, mythology stories.
I'd like to try and be at least a little bit charitable to the argument. What he was saying was that there is a law, and then from that follows. I mean, there's something that's like very implicit in that statement. My take on that would be something along the lines of there's an undiscovered particle. And what it does, it influences things towards
Well, I guess
the
we
wrong,
can't get.
or against the wrong,
We can't
towards the right.
even get
What's
to
called
it.
undiscovered particle, the moraliton.
Okay, well, I guess we can't even get to it.
Actual thing which actually exists, which actually has some sort of influence towards, you know, the good or the right or whatever it is. I just don't think that that's
Okay.
real.
Well, I guess we can't even get to
That's
it.
fair, right?
100%. It doesn't fit in the standard model. There's no room for a
Sorry.
more philosophical. Unless the interaction is so weak that it doesn't even like interact at all.
Right, that's the problem, right? Is we gotta measure that interaction now, and I just don't think you're gonna get it there. I don't think that you're gonna like have a good idea of like what good is to be quantified and then measured in that way. And I mean, like, you know, I think if you do that work and then you discover an undiscovered particle, awesome. I'm just not sure you would call it good, right?
Not only that, we have strong empirical evidence that there can't be a moraliton, because when we have like millions of people dying from cancer and starvation and earthquakes, like where's the moraliton's influence?
Have you read Confucius? Because Confucius deals with morals, ethics, virtues, governance. I mean, you know, the Bible does as well. But, I mean, you know, it's an important book. If you haven't read Confucius, you should probably read it because it's rather agnostic. It doesn't go into, you know, the Jehovah Sky God. It talks about actual intelligent things, like on how to govern and what are wise approaches to situations.
I think if you take your moraliton, like literally, like seriously, like literally, right? Like I think that would be a straw man of the view that like most moral realists would have, right? They're not viewing it as like an object, like a particle that has causal interactions with the physical world, right? It would be more akin to like what you described, right? Like the platonic reality of like numbers, right? Like a lot of people are like Platonists about numbers, right? Like, and in their view, the numbers exist, but they don't interact. They're abstract entities that don't interact with concrete entities, and so the moral laws would be something like that.
You're not Platonist, right?
No. Although there's some decent arguments for Platonism for math, I think. I mean, I'll put it this way: I'm a hopeful Platonist about math, you know.
Yeah, hopeful is an interesting word to use. If you're interested in what's true, why would you be hopeful one way or the other?
Well, I mean, I'm actually hopeful moral realist too in that sense, right? Like I mentioned about people manner, right? Like I do think there's more reason to think that like mathematical Platonism is true than moral Platonism. But I don't quite think it is.
So here's my only issue with it. Number one, I don't think there's sufficient reason to conclude in mathematical Platonism. But even if there was, by some like really, really weird coincidence, and the universe just happened to be Platonic in math, that doesn't mean we can now say, oh, there's a Platonic realm for morality, there's a Platonic realm for the government says you want to do your taxes. Like, I mean, you could just make a Platonic realm for anything and say, okay, listen to me and alter your behavior because I have a Platonic realm that fits statutes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Just because you're a Platonist about some things, right, doesn't mean you have to be a Platonist about other things, right? So I think more likely that mathematical Platonism is true than moral Platonism, but I don't think either are true. But
Imagine if I know you don't believe this, but imagine like if I just for the sake of the theist in the room, I'd be like I'm a atheist, I'm a Platonic atheist. I believe that there's like some objective realm that compels all of you to be atheists and to start sinning and drop this nonsense of religion. Like they wouldn't listen to me. They would think it's silly. So I'm just pointing out that it's equally silly on the opposite side.
The opposite side being.
When theists say there's objective morality because it's grounded in God, you need to listen to me. Yeah, I had no idea Deepak was a mathematical Platonist. It's interesting. He's not. He said that he might be persuaded, maybe, but not.
Abe, I mean, you do agree, though, that in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, there's verses in there which are useful to you in your personal life. I mean, do you deny that?
I think I do deny that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say there's not anything good in the Old Testament. There might literally be like one or two verses, but the vast majority of them are completely pointless and artful and evil.
Okay, so like if I read to you just a couple quick verses, I mean, you would agree with what you just said?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm sure you can pick out one or two verses that are like not completely.
I mean, it's not one or two; it's like thousands. FYI, I mean, I have them on 3x5 flashcards. I mean, it's intelligent. It's large language modeling. It's psychological in nature, and it's emotional intelligence. So that's.
Here's the thing: there's good in almost every single book, right? I'm sure you could pick up like the most horrendous book and find at least one or two sentences that are useful for life.
I mean, this is from Proverbs, for example. Joyful is the person who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. Let me ask you a question: are you joyful and happy in your life?
Sometimes.
Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. I mean, my point is, I'm not going to keep reading these things. The point is, I just find great value in the neurolinguistic programming of the information to make me a happier, more successful person. Now, whether or not Jesus or God the Father exists is irrelevant to me. I enjoy the programming language.
Okay, well, are you a Christian or no?
To me, it doesn't matter if I worship the spaghetti monster. To me, it's a good book that gives me high-value information.
Look, that's a pragmatic argument. That's fine, but I'm just saying, are you a Christian right now? And do you believe in the truth value of the claims?
I believe it. I believe that the book. I believe that the Bible is a high-value book which should be read and studied thoroughly if you have the time.
You are such a dodger.
It's not a dodger. It's an irrelevant question. I'm trying to emphasize that the book is important, not whether or not I personally believe that Christ is Messiah.
And I acknowledge. Now, do you mind just answering whether you truly believe it?
No, I actually think that once you study it enough, you realize that it's all psychological and emotional education. And to think that Jesus Christ is the son of the Godfather is, there's a lot of fantasy land in all this shit. But nonetheless, the emotional intelligence is the high value.
You're not a real Christian then. Fine, you can believe in the Bible and read it to your heart's content and you feel it helps for your life. But that doesn't mean you believe in God. And
well, it's still just your opinion that I'm not a real Christian. I don't know why you think personally that you are the arbitrator and the one who gets to tell me who I am, you may have a problem. It could be a you problem.
No, I'm fine if you want to identify as a Christian. I wouldn't say you can't identify as a Christian. What I'm saying is the vast majority of Christians I've ever talked to, they say you have to believe that God exists essentially and that Jesus rose from the dead. If you don't believe that, then you're just
Well, it's a game, though. That's the point. You can't join a Freemasonic lodge unless you can verbally confirm that there is one God. And so the whole thing becomes one versus many, many versus one.
Okay, fine, Jordan Peterson, it's okay, fine.
Are you talking to me or Piper?
Nobody, like, what is that? I was talking to you, John.
You just understand this part, right? Everybody here wants to talk about whether there is a God, what religion is true, that kind of thing. We don't care that you have your fucking, like, Jungian interpretation of whatever the fuck. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, John, if you feel the Bible helps you in your life, good for you. We actually care about whether it's actually true. And also, if while you're at it, if you like reading books that like help your life, might I recommend like the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, there's a lot of very good spiritual books out there. I've read them all.
Yeah.
Listen, the Dhammapada is fantastic. You know, Bhagavad Gita is fantastic. The Upanishads is fantastic. All these books should be studied. And if you just want to come on a social audio chat app all day long to do this debate, that's fine too. But what I'm saying is the wisdom in the books is the meat and potatoes, the fruits and the nuts, the milk and the butter. And you're missing the point that it is true. It's my opinion.
Hold on, can I show you the milk and the butter of the Bible? Because I think
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Abe.
Yeah, sure. Hold on, let me get the verses out here.
It's like going to a movie and complaining about the movie that you just paid $10 for. It's like, try to enjoy it.
Yeah, I can say that the movie is shit.
I know, but it's still just your opinion. It's not a fact.
It's your opinion too, bro.
I know, and that's the point, is it's everybody's opinion. But you seem to think that you know everything.
I don't know everything, but I know a little bit.
Well, same here.
Okay. So, I mean, let me, let's see. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones from 1 Samuel 15:1. It says, "Now go and strike Amalek and devote to destruction all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey."
Is this happening right now, in the past, in the future? Like, when is this passage taking place?
It happened in the past, and by their lights, by their understanding, they believe in a God.
Is it a metaphor?
That told them. No, it's not a metaphor.
It's literal? Oh my God, I never knew it was literal. I always thought it was a metaphor.
Well, now we're doing a Bible study.
Wow, you teach the Bible.
I do teach the Bible. I actually know the Bible.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm more than you, actually.
More than me?
Yeah, 100%.
How much more than me? 100%? What is 100% more than me?
Yeah, I don't even know if you've read the whole thing. Have you read the whole thing?
Yeah, start to finish, 100 times.
Good. That's a good start. Have you read it in the old Hebrew?
Aramaic, too. I'm fluent in Aramaic.
You're fluent in Aramaic?
Yeah, I've been studying Aramaic 20 years.
We're going to put this to the test right fucking now. I'm going to give you something to read, John. And if you can't read it to me right now, God help you.
Is that like your opinion that God will help me?
No, it's a metaphor. I'm going to give you something in Aramaic. I'm going to put it on my PTR, and you better be able to fucking read it, or else you're going to be a liar
no problem.
in front of the whole room.
Okay, go ahead. PTR.
And you better read it right away. Don't, copy it and then
Do you want to hear it in modern Aramaic, or do you want to hear it in ancient Aramaic? I speak both.
If you can read Aramaic, I can give you a page from the Talmud.
Oh, great. I've been studying the Talmud 20 years as well. Let's go for it. Come on, this is so exciting, Dr. Abe.
Good.
Wow, look at James Henry down there. He's so angry. He says God is a piece of shit. Maybe that's projection, Dr. James.
time you've been up on stage.
Yeah, everybody projects. Did you know that, Shawnito? Including me? I'm just saying, you speak with such authority. Everyone here is, got everything figured out. You know all the answers, as if your memory, tomorrow is going to even remember this conversation, because it's not even important. It's insignificant waste of time. But, that's just my opinion. It's not a fact.
Here's why you keep saying that. It's like a big W for you. We already acknowledged that morality is subjective, so why do you keep bringing it up and, like, beating a dead horse? What are you doing? I don't understand it. Okay, hold on, Doc. Give me a second. I'm going to put it in my PTR. When you pull to refresh, start reading. Are you ready? Hello? John?
Hello?
The moment I get it ready, suddenly he goes mysteriously silent. Hey James, John was cucking out. I knew he couldn't read it. I know.
You can dodge them all.
He's gotta wear special clothing to do the Aramaic.
Communication is hypnosis.
I mean, the more we talk about him, the more he loves it, so we can move on. If anybody else wants to talk about something else. Right, I do agree he is not a serious person, but for some reason people love to entertain him, so I'll never understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to kick him out when I proved he couldn't read Hebrew, but it's fine.
So yes, morality is subjective. Let's go back to that, right?
Or yeah, I mean, from my point of view, there are so many good arguments for it being subjective. One of my favorite ones is like, okay, you're going to run into a problem if they don't accept evolution, but a lot of people will. So, like, you basically just say, look, like, before humans, everyone would probably agree there was no morality on Earth, right? Like, there were just animals eating each other. Like, if you look back in, like, the fucking Cambrian or whatever, and, like, there were all these, like, creatures in the water, and they were all, like, going around blind and, like, stabbing each other and eating each other. Like, there was no fucking morality going on whatsoever. It was just things were hungry and sunlight was streaming, and that's it. So, when you look at it like that, it's pretty obvious that if something didn't exist in the universe, and then suddenly we as humans evolved, and then we're like, oh shit, we're living in groups now, we care about our in-group, and we're gonna fuck the out-group, like, that's morality developing before our eyes. So I don't even know why that's even, like, controversial. That just seems like a fact of the universe and the way we evolved.
These types of behaviors can be seen throughout the animal kingdom. Fish swim in schools for a reason, right? Monkeys and orangutans hang out in groups. Elephants mourn their dead.
Depressed people hang out on Clown House.
Alright, dude, just please.
Just kick him. He's too frustrating for us because his opinions aren't facts.
For the audience, I was gonna give you a chance, by the way, to read the Hebrew and the Aramaic, but since you're such a troll, I don't even need to wait anymore because I know you can't read shit. So, John, your little trolling might work in like other rooms, but when you're talking to someone who actually can read Aramaic, you're gonna have to actually do better.
Yeah, I didn't catch the last part of what you were saying when you were rudely interrupted.
Oh, sorry. It was just pointing out. T was pointing out that animals, elephants mourn their dead, so on and so forth. We have examples of morality throughout the animal kingdom, including humans, and it's all subjective.
Yeah, we have evolutionary examples of these behaviors developing prior to humans, is what I'm pointing out. And so it's not unexpected that humans would in turn further adapt and evolve these types of behaviors.
Like, the reason why morality is subjective is because it might have to do with consciousness, right?
Palestinians who saw it happen, and the settlers, the young settlers that went in, and they were like,
research on it. I can post something to just give you. Here's the thing, like if you think about it, man, all these languages of the several thousand living languages on this earth, it's not really complex. Humans say a word, it gets picked up, they put it in a dictionary. Shakespeare made up a bunch of shit for this English language that we've mastered. They put it in there, they use it as a word. So the word coon has a usage in the way that black culture now refers to people within the same skin color, right? That speak in a specific way about our culture. So I'm just saying, all of these words from a linguistic standpoint, they evolve. They could mean something different next year. So the usage of coon has a specific definition when black people use it for another black person. That's all.
It's specific black. I'm black cool.
Yeah, I know.
Coolology.
It's a quick Google search, that basically the word coon as a racial slur for black people originally in the United States and is deeply rooted in the history of slavery and racism, right? So it is originally a racial slur, which in now today's day and age is wanting to be used in a different manner.
Yeah, just kind of like
by all means.
The N-word, we didn't make that up for ourselves, but we kind of flipped it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? My culture has a history of doing dynamic things and being really creative with this, bland language that they served us when we got here. So it's all good is what I'm saying. So it's just similar to coon, right? We flipped it, used it in a different way. But that's how all language is. That's what I was saying. I was just having a quick linguistics conversation with you. But your point is taken. I understand where you're coming from. I'm done.
Yeah, I just think the word should just be abolished at this point. But I get
of course you do, Coon.
Let me go to King. King, you there, King?
Alright, this is fucking.
Why be chill, bro? Just take it easy.
Yeah, let's go.
King, how you doing?
What's going on, brother? I'm listening, man.
What do you think about the conversation so far?
I don't know, man. I really let Mojo and them talk, bro. Now, JT put a link in the box about Obama sending money to Holocaust survivors, right? Did you see that link?
I'm familiar with what Obama did for the Jews.
That's it. Because the thing was, man, so many people get blowback on Clubhouse
when it's
about
convenient.
opinions.
When I'm looking at you like that,
when people like JT put the facts in the box, people get awfully quiet. We like to argue opinions on Clubhouse. I don't want to argue opinions. Let's put the facts down. I think the brother put the facts in the box and nobody spoke to that. So shout out to.
I'm gonna step aside for a few minutes, guys. I need to eat, so you guys can hear.
What you think about it, man? Is racism taught at home or is it learned on the streets?
It's taught on Clubhouse.
I think so too, bro. I think Clubhouse made me not like people in general, bro. To be honest, I think it made me want no more human excursions with the human heart. I want no more excursions with the human heart, and I think that's why I like to live in my bubble. Actually, I think Clubhouse made me appreciate white people more. To be honest,
not me.
I say that as a white guy. I get on here and I see the embarrassment that people that identify as white are. They either fucking get on here and say some hateful shit, or they get on here and they make apologies for shit that they didn't do. There's all these extremes. It's like there's like no happy in between white guilt and racist. Can't you just fucking be a human fucking being? It's just weird. Like, the obsession with race is crazy. I hate these types of rooms, to be quite honest, because we sit here and we'll have these conversations. We want to talk about historical injustice, this, that, and the other thing. The truth of the matter is, when I'm hanging out with friends that come from different identity groups than me, we don't sit there and talk about those things. We talk about normal shit. We'll talk about watching a TV series like The Sopranos, or we'll talk about sports, or we'll talk about pro wrestling, whatever the fuck it might be. Well, usually it's food, right? That's what we'll talk about. Nobody's having these conversations, but we do this to pretend that we're pseudo intellectuals and that somehow we're going to save the world by being more empathetic than the next person. I don't know. Fucking real people don't have these conversations. They sit there and they just chill.
Yeah, Mojo, I agree with you.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Real people can't have these conversations in real life because somebody's going to get punched.
That's true. There's some people on here, like the comments that, like, Beaver, for example, is putting in the chat. Like, Beaver, like, there's a reason why he's not on the stage and why he's in the chat, and he would be even more timid if he was in real life. Like, there's no way Beaver's gonna walk into a bar in mixed company and say the things that he's saying in the chat. Only on Clubhouse can he exist to do these things. So I totally agree.
Charcuterie board was a diabolical.
So I agree with Mojo to a certain extent, but I think people are scared to have these conversations in person. I agree with Liz. People scared to have these conversations in person because somebody gonna get punched. You know what I mean? I think we need to have these conversations. Racism is a distraction in America, but everybody's scared to talk about it. I think acts like
people,
Clubhouse.
they just don't want to talk about it. That's just, when I go to these schools, they act like they don't want to talk about it. So it's a big issue. It's, maybe in other states it's not, but it's a big issue in California.
There's no solution. That's the whole reason about not talking about it, is because there's no real solution behind why people want to actually discuss it. So if you want to discuss something, okay, so what solution is actually, so from this conversation...
We need to talk about diversity in these schools.
Okay, so so cool. What's the solution, what's the resolution that you're looking for, exactly?
My resolution is we need to learn about other cultures, because it's obvious a lot of ignorance out here where people, these kids especially, I'm talking about the kids. I am talking about these children in these schools, okay? I'm not talking about grown-ass adults. Our children need to be educated about different cultures and different people.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because
we're in America.
This is a learned behavior, and it's hurting.
You gotta let her finish, man.
You got it.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, yo, bro, if you could, let her finish, man. I think that's the reason why we can't get anywhere on Clubhouse. I think that's why the numbers dwindle. Because instead of having legitimate conversations, people rather argue with each other and talk over each other. If you could, let her finish, brother. If she wrong, correct.
I'm done. I'm just saying, it just, me personally, it just needs, diversity and talking about different cultures needs to be more in these schools, because people, can be affected by it.
So are you referring to, like, the kids in high school that run around saying things like from the river to the sea when they can't tell you which river or which sea? Is that what we're referring to?
I'm talking about middle school. Well, it's going to start in middle school for me. Middle school and high school.
Yeah, so Mojo, I think the problem is this. It's trying to basically divide what American culture is, right? Like, dividing America into all these multifaceted cultures of people that were only born in America, which is the biggest problem that I see, right? There's white culture, there's black culture, there's Asian culture, but they're all born in America. There's only American culture, right? That's what it is, right? You don't go to France, you don't go to England and say there's black English culture or white English culture. It's only one. That's the issue, which is why racism and these topics are so prevalent because of that, which is why it's always discussed, is because everyone's trying to split what American culture looks like, right? So you can have me, right? My family was born in Haiti, right? But here's the thing. If someone like JT go and say, oh, go back to your shithole country, I have all this privilege. At the exact same time, say America sucks because of racism. How? How can you do that? How on one side say it's so shitty, and then on the other side say it's so great and you have all this privilege? That's the screwed up part about it.
Well, JT's not in here, so.
No, but I'm just giving you a prime example. Like, how do you? No. Here's the thing, though, right, Co? How can you say that there's so much hate in America where you can tell Mexicans and all these other people to leave America? This isn't your country, right? But at the exact same time, when they're no longer here, you don't feel like this is your country anymore because of white people. How do you play both sides?
Oh, good. So for whatever it's worth, I hear. Basically, when we have these conversations, let's just cut to the chase. What people are really saying is, we're tired of black people complaining. Go back to Africa. If you got a complaint and you're getting all these benefits, I'm sick of it. I used to empathize with you guys, but you black people are crying too much. You're taking too much. You're too much on the government door. That's really what the conversation is. You don't really mean what you mean, right? What you're saying, YB, like for instance, you would never tell Mojo or JB that they should disown Jewish culture and stop speaking pro-Jewish or Zionist culture, right? So you're just literally speaking about the fatigue that you have with black people wanting to have equal justice in America. That's usually what the conversation is. So let me just cut it to the chase so that we don't have to circle around it. You would never tell a Jewish person that why do you have to be all Jewish and Israeli since you're in America? Why don't you just forget